You're listening to AISD Live, Abilene ISD's exclusive home for streaming live games and events. For more live events featuring your favorite AISD students and teams, stay tuned to AISDlive.org, follow us on the AISD Live Facebook page, or subscribe to our Abilene ISD YouTube channel. Visit the AISD Live website for sponsorship opportunity information. Enjoy the game.
Entering the field, your Abilene High varsity cheerleaders.
Go by and see Blake next week, Monday. Well, he may be actually open on Labor Day, but go by and see Blake next week. His office is at 650 Judge Ely Boulevard. Give him a call, but no matter how near, no matter how far, like a good neighbor, Blake Williams State Farm is there. Tell you what, we're going to take a break and come back and visit with the Eagle head coach, Mike Fullen, as the Abilene Eagle pregame show continues in 2 minutes on AISD Live.
You're listening to AISD Live, Abilene ISD's exclusive home for streaming live games and events.
And Riley. The juniors, Nevaeh McCoy, yay. Alaire Petrie. The sophomore, Alicia Alvarez. Alea Cantu. Angie Hernandez. Chloe Etter. Claire Redmond. Beth Shirley. And your mascots, seniors, Merritt Albright as Champette, and sophomore Evan Cheney is champ. Now, Eagle fans, it's your turn. Join the cheerleaders, Champette, and the drum line for the Abilene High School Field Yell. There's your Abilene High varsity cheerleaders and mascots. And the Abilene High drum line.
You know, that was the biggest thing is I thought the guys played fast and played physical, and then we stayed healthy through it.
And I was talking to some of the guys on the sideline. They just said it was good to hit somebody wearing a different color shirt.
Yeah, that's everybody. I mean, you in this day and age with the limited time that we get with the guys, in the fall prior to, you kind of got to speed things up. But from coming out of spring with the stuff that we were able to do, but yeah, it's just one of those things that everybody's ready to get after somebody else because once you know each other so well in house that it's nice to go against someone else.
Well, this is the second year for Mark Smith down at Central. You've coached against him over the years. You've known him. Do you think they're going to be able to give you a better challenge than they did last year? You put 60 on them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, every year is different. Every team's different. You know, they've got a really good-looking football team. They got two really big, physical running backs. Quarterback's a good player. Coach's son, so you know he knows the game. And they got a receiver that's probably their best football player. And defensively, they're big, they're athletic, attacking, and so I mean, you'll see a significant difference in this first game from last year's first game, just because they've had a year with Coach Smith. And so I know they were a team that got better throughout the year, and so I know that they're going to be every bit as good as anybody will see this year.
And you've got one really exceptional senior coming back as a leader, and that's Braden Henry. And he's going to have to step up and fill the role that you had last year from now UTEP minor, that he's going to play multiple positions, and I know you'll utilize him where you see fit.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's got a unique set of skills. He brings a dynamic aspect to the game just because of his playmaking ability, and just his presence on the field helps our team. And it's also it draws attention from the other team that it helps design plays, and there'll definitely be plays that are designed specifically for him. But just him being a leader and being a guy that's played a lot of football, he understands what everybody does on offense. I mean, he could line up anybody, anywhere, anytime, and so that's a comfort in itself. But definitely look forward to him having a big year.
And on the other side of the ball, you had some leadership graduate and go on to different directions. Who's going to be your leader on the defensive side of the ball?
We have several. Our D-line with Jaden Starks and Amani Strahan, both those guys, and they're really big and athletic defensive linemen. And Skylar Mullins in his second year as a full-time inside linebacker. Trey Shaw, he's just a playmaker. And then in the secondary, we have Jordan Brown, that was a freshman last year, that'll be a sophomore this year, and Xavier Dela Cruz, that played safety for us. So there'll be some new faces back there, but they're faces that have game experience that people may not know, but I hope they know them by the end of the year.
All right. This has been our visit with Coach Mike Fullen, and the pregame show on AISD Live will continue after this break.
Are you looking to build a solid future in AISD? The construction program.
Also ask that you show your appreciation for students who will be taking part indirectly in tonight's game. Cheerleaders, band, pep squad, and the students who supported their teams at home and away. These young people play an integral part of their team's success. The officials for this game have been mutually agreed upon by school officials from both schools, and their goal is not unlike those of players, coaches, teachers, and school administrators. Without them, this game would not be possible. Tonight's officials include referee Glenn Bamlett, umpire Sam Edison, the headline judge is Jerry Gordon, the line judge is Cody Ward, the back judge is Mike Perry, the site judge is Jeff Wilkerson, and the field judge is Phil Field. They are from the Abilene football sector. Their knowledge and application of the rules are a result of annual testing, years of study, and continued participation in clinics that further refine their understanding of the game against you as students, parents, and citizens, and demonstrate how respectful individual that you extend to any designated person in a position of authority. Once again, welcome to Shotwell Stadium. At this time, we will have the playing of the San Angelo Central Bobcat School Song. Eagle Nation, stand proud as the Abilene High Band plays our alma mater. We're 8.5 minutes away from the beginning of the 2025 football season. And we'll have the kickoff at 7 o'clock. When the teams come back in the field, we'll have to play the national anthem. Thank you for being here, Shotwell.
Number 15 is Blaine Belcher. Sorry about that, John.
That's okay. I'm still old school.
Number 15 is Blaine Belcher, the junior. Safety is Bryson Sanders, number 10, and he's also a senior. And the Rovers, number 2, Noah Rogers. And at the left corner is number 5, Troy Savalos. And Troy is a junior this year.
And the Abilene Eagles have just emerged from the locker room. They are in the north end zone. They'll go down on a knee, and that gives us a chance to introduce the Abilene Eagles. They're led by senior quarterback Braden Henry. His running back is going to be Ethan Joyner. When they go to a two-back set, they'll have Josh Castillo. The wideouts for Abilene High are Stephen Wright and Jaden Jackson, along with John Rangel and Majul Aboso. The tight end is Elijah Wood in the Eagles. The tackles are Aaron Ochoa and Brooks Nealon. And the guards are going to be Efren Hernandez and Raimundo Rivera. And the center is last year's all-district center, Ryan Esparza. On the other side of the ball, the Eagles feature a nose guard, and what a horse he is, Jaden Starks. Your two defensive tackles are DeMarcus Reed and Amani Strahan. Your linebackers on the outside are Levon Kuntz and Trey Shaw. We're going to call Trey's number a whole bunch tonight. Skylar Famoa and Samani Strahan are linebackers on inside. Your corners are Jordan Brown and Jeremiah Hammond. And your safeties are Charles Meeks and second team All-District last year, Xavier Dela Cruz. Those are your starting lineups for the Bobcats and the Eagles. Tell you what, we're going to get ready for the pregame ceremony as the colors will be presented, but we have time for one more timeout as you have been listening to the Abilene Eagle pregame show brought to you by Blake Williams, State Farm Insurance. Go by and see him at 650 Judge Ely Boulevard for a quote. Remember, no matter how near, no matter how far, like a good neighbor, Blake Williams is there. We're back in a couple of minutes on AISD Live. Again. with the Bobcats before he became the offensive coordinator for the University of Texas? Or was it Dan Gandy who was the head coach of the Bobcats when they became the Angry Orange? And Orange scared me.
We've talked to Coach Fullen this week. We had a little conversation with Coach Smith. So, Chuck, we're fixing to kick this season off here in about 2 minutes and 46 seconds. What do you want to see tonight for Abilene High?
Well, first thing, I want to make sure this is a non-district game. You have some non-district games where you get to actually play against somebody, but they really don't count until district starts. So I don't want to see anybody get injured. But I would like to see what we're going to see on offense, and the offense Abilene High has is explosive. I want to also see the challenge that the Eagle defense can stand. But then again, Central has kind of got a burr under their saddle because Abilene High beat them 60-38 last year, and they missed the playoffs. So Central has something to prove. So the team captains from Abilene High are coming to the middle of the field, and they'll be stopped in the middle of the AISD logo. And once again, thanks for joining us. It's our pleasure to share the best seat in the house. Team captains for Abilene High are Trey Shaw, Monty Strahan, Skylar Famoa, and Jaden Starks. We have an officiating crew from the Abilene chapter of the Southwest Officials Association. They are meeting at midfield, and I'm looking across the street. Greg, trucks are pulling in. Next weekend, we'll have the big West Texas Fair coming our way.
Well, one good thing about the fair is the temperatures cool down normally, and what's it do when the fair gets here? It rains all the time. Every time the fair gets here, it rains.
So the Eagles have won the coin toss, and they have deferred to the second half. So now the officials are talking to the Central Bobcats, and what the Bobcats are going to do is they will be receiving. They're going to defend the south goal here at Shotwell Stadium. Abilene High will be kicking off, and this is just going to be one of those games. They're not in the same district. They were in the Little Southwest Conference for years. That was Abilene High, Cooper, and Big Springs, San Angelo Central, Midland High, Midland Lee, and Permian and Odessa High. A lot of really good players came out of that district to go into the Southwest Conference, and that's why the sports writers used to call it that.
Yeah, the Little Southwest Conference used to be the toughest district in the state of Texas, and I know, Chuck, this is just a non-district game, but both these teams want to get off to a 1-0 start to start the season.
And let's see how it goes. This is Class 5A football at its finest. And, of course, you can always draw a great crowd here at Shotwell, which is the home field. Next week, the place will be packed. Cooper is the home team for the game, so Cooper fans will be in the West Bleachers. Abilene High, I don't care. Just give me a seat. We'll be on the east side, but we're ready. The teams are facing the flag as the color guard from the junior ROTC detachment is now marching between the stripes down the middle of the field from the north end zone. They have the Texas flag and the American flag as this four-person color guard. And right now, the Eagle Band playing Amazing Grace as they march towards midfield. And everyone is on their seat here in Abilene, Texas. Not a cloud in the sky, and we're glad that's good, as the color guard will post the colors. And we will now have our national anthem to be played by the oldest marching band in Texas, the Abilene High Eagle Band. Join us for our nation's anthem. presented by the Abilene High Eagle Band. And we want to say thank you to those who have served our country through our armed forces in the past and in the present, and our neighbors at Dyess Air Force Base who are deployed all around the globe to protect the freedom. And thank you for joining us. I'm Chuck Statler. Greg Knuckles is with me. And Greg, we are ready to kick off the 2025 high school football season.
What an exciting time, Chuck. This is my favorite time of the year. I love football, especially high school football. And like you said, we have got a great matchup tonight. Two teams that have historically had great ball games. No love lost between the two towns, San Angelo and Abilene, because we're so close. But I'm excited to get this season kicked off with you. It's going to be a pleasure calling with you every Friday night, Chuck.
Well, let's get ready for this one, as we will play 4 12-minute quarters in regulation in this non-district game between Abilene High and the Bobcats of San Angelo Central. Once again, the 7th year for Mike Fullen as the head coach of Abilene High, and the 2nd year as the head coach of San Angelo Central for Abilene native Mark Smith. So it should be a dandy. Back deep to receive the kickoff for the Bobcats is going to be Trey Ceballos and Colton Hill. Abilene High is getting ready to send their kicking team off. And let's see who else is going to be receiving that kick for the Bobcats. Back deep is going to be Bryson Sanders. He'll be the middleman in the 3-man return team. And now the Eagles will come in, and they're going to tee it up at the North 40. Kicking off for Abilene High is going to be Easton Pittman. Pittman has got it teed up. The Eagles are getting in their kick formation, and we are ready to get underway. Thanks for sharing the best seat in the house with us here on AISD Live. Pittman has the ball teed up at the left hash mark. 6-man officiating crew. Here's the kick, and it is high and over in, fielded at the 6. Here's the return to the 10, 15, 20. He's going to kick outside, get to the 22-yard line, and that was Colton Hill on the return. So the Abilene Eagle defense will come in and make their first stand 78 yards from the end zone. Nope. Yep, it is 78.
That's right. Yep, that's right.
Now, we're going to apologize. This is our kind of disclaimer. Neither one of us are math majors, so if we give you a number, you're just going to have to trust us. But we're ready and getting down to supervise what's happening on the defensive line. Jaden Starks is the nose guard to Marcus Reed and Amani Strahan. That is the front three in this 3-4 defense. Coming up in the shotgun is Micah Smith from the right hash mark. Long count. Smith going to try to give it to the left, and running back will get out about a yard picked up. And I'm seeing 4 Eagle jerseys get off the top of him, primarily Reed. And so that will be respotted by the linesman, and it will be no gain. 2nd down and 10 from the 23, 11:35 in the first quarter. Smith back in the shotgun. He's going to send man in motion to the right. That's Hill. And now going to give again penalty flag thrown. Going to the right, trying to go behind the right guard is the runner for the Bobcats.
We may not have enough men on the line of scrimmage, Chuck, to do that. I think it's not enough men on the line of scrimmage.
Okay, Greg, this is my 44th season broadcasting football. You're the first former referee that I've worked with, and I'm glad that you're going to be here to keep me honest. I've worked with some really good guys over the years, and I've been looking forward to this season. I think it's going to be fun.
I'm excited too, Chuck, and I appreciate you having me. Yeah, they only had 6 men on the line of scrimmage. You got to have 7 for legal formation, and so Abilene High declined the penalty. It's 3rd down.
3rd and 9 from the 24. Clock moving at 11:04. We're scoreless in the first quarter. Smith drops back, right-hander getting pressure. Now he's going to have to roll out to the left, and finally he's going to dump it out of bounds. That'll bring up 4th down. So the Eagles in this first defensive stand got what they wanted, and they wanted the Bobcats to go 3 and out.
Chuck, what I've noticed early is the black shirts are flying to the football. They chased Smith out of the pocket, had nowhere to go, and he had to throw it out of bounds. And now brings up 4th down, and so the Eagles did what they wanted to do on this first drive, Chuck, force a 3-and-out.
And Braden Henry will be back deep. He stands on the Eagle 40-yard line. The kicker is Caleb Holbert, and he'll be receiving the snap from the 23. He stands on the Bobcat 10-yard line. Nice clean snap, right-footed kick, high end over, and Henry's going to watch it bounce. It'll take a Bobcat roll for about 2 bounces and then get killed at the 41-yard line. So Abilene High gets their first possession here in the first quarter, 59 yards away from scoring first.
Great field position for Abilene High to start off the game. Now we're anxious to see this. We've been hearing about all the speed from last year that's back, Chuck. I'm anxious to see what Abilene High and Braden Henry does to start the game right here.
And the Bobcats are in a 3-4 defense also. The Eagles come to the line of scrimmage, which is their 41-yard line. Braden Henry is in the shotgun. Lining up to his left is Ethan Joyner, a pair of seniors. And they'll stack a couple of receivers in close to the left, single receiver wide to the right, and that's a receiver going in motion. Now they're all going to come back over in a cluster to the right. Henry takes a snap. He's going to give. This is Joyner. Joyner at the 45, 50. Cuts outside 45, 40, 30. He will get an Eagle first down near the 25-yard line.
Joyner just took the same look. We got a flag down, Chuck. Flag at the 48-yard line. Maybe a hold.
And it's the first game of the season you're going to see a flag or two on both sides of the ball.
Well, Jordan followed his blockers around that right side and broke it down for a big game, but I think it's coming back, Chuck.
And that will be the case. Holding is what the referee indicates against Abilene High. It will be first down. As the head linesman is going to have the down box move to the 44, so that'll bring up 1st and 7. 10 minutes, 30 seconds left on the first quarter clock. Abilene High coming to the line again. John Rangel split out to the left. Henry is now going to shuffle his potential receivers. He'll have one to the right. Henry wants to give to Joyner again. Big hole to the left, and Joyner still going. Did he fumble the ball and recover his own fumble? Greg at the 48.
Yes, he did. Jordan is really fast. He burst through the hole, but he fumbled the ball, but recovered his own fumble, and that's going to bring up 2nd down and 2 for the Eagles.
And the Eagles need to get to the 49-yard line to get their first down in the game. So they will come to the line. Ethan Joyner wore 23 last season. He's wearing number 2 this season. And Henry going to carry it himself. Steps over. Nope. This is going to be Tristan Beal. He'll carry it. Did he fumble it at midfield?
Yes, he did, Chuck. And the Central Bobcats recovered the fumble. He was trying to get some extra yardage, and the ball came out, and Central's got great field position now off the turnover.
And so turning over the ball, giving the second possession to the Bobcats. Abilene High goes on the defense at their own 49-yard line. But that is the first turnover here in the game. Tristan Bill came in on that 3rd down. So here come the Bobcats at the Eagle 49. Mark Smith, quarterback, back in the shotgun again. Lining up next to him is Johnson. 3 receivers to the right. Football placed right in the middle of the hash marks. 9:31 here in the first quarter. And low snap, Smith picks it up, looks, he's on his toes and throws it long, and that will go down as an incompletion. That stops the first quarter clock at 9:25.
Yeah, Mark got a little nervous there. He's trying to get the ball out quickly because Abilene High's breaking the pressure, and he just overthrew his receiver. Chuck, first quarter, first game, might have a little jitters, be a little nervous out there to start the season.
That that's true. Our game's only been 7 minutes long, and the shadows are starting to encroach upon this turf field here at Shotwell Stadium. Just inside the 10s is where we've got sunlight right now. Everything else is in shade. Smith looks, drops back across the middle, and will underthrow his receiver inside the 40-yard line.
Again, I think Coach Smith's son, he's got a good arm, and I think he's just trying to get the ball out too quickly, and he's trying to force it, Chuck. It looks like it. He's missed his second throw in a row.
But you got to look at the Eagle coverage, man. Greg, they are stride for stride with those receivers wearing orange helmets.
Yes, sir. Flying to the football. That's what we talked about earlier. The black shirts are flying to the football.
9:22, first quarter. That's where the incompleted pass stops the clock. 3rd and 10 for the Bobcats. 3 receivers to the right. Now they're going to hand the ball. This will be Johnson. He's trying to go around the right corner. He's at the 40. He's going to break loose at the 30, the 10, and he'll be stopped inside the 5 to keep from scoring the touchdown. Good speed by Skylar Famore catching him from behind, but it is going to be the first down for the Bobcats.
Xavier Johnson hit the hole to the right side, and he almost broke it, Chuck. He got tripped up, but he just followed his blockers around the right side, and with his big old bag just rumbling down the right sideline there. Now you got a 1st and goal for the Central Bobcats.
8:59 it is. First down, goal to go for the Bobcats as Smith stays in the shotgun. Looks over the Eagle defense, and he's going to try to carry it in himself, and he will get that on a 2-yard run, and the Bobcats score first against the Abilene High Eagles on a 2-yard Smith run.
Smith's going to be the work cow for the Bobcats tonight, and he just followed his blockers into the end zone. And Angelo capitalizes on the turnover as they score first here in the first quarter.
And so after the 2-yard Smith run, let's see the point after try. The kicker for the Bobcats is Caleb Holder. His holder is Micah Smith. And we're waiting the snap. Here it is. The kick goes north through the uprights towards the Abilene Zoo. And our new score here with 8:47 into the first quarter will be the Central Bobcats 7, Abilene High nothing. We'll be back in a moment on AISD Live.
A game without
Just big plays, got him inside the 5, and then that 2-yard run by Smith. And now the Bobcats kicking off to Abilene High. They're in the north, and Braden Henry has the ball. He's on the return. 15, 20, wide open, and he's going to fumble the ball and turn it over. Excuse me, that was not Braden Henry. That was Majula Boso. He's the sprinter also. He's part of that Eagle team that went to the state track meet this last 2 years.
Well, you saw his speed, Chuck. He broke it, and if he hadn't tripped, he'd gone all the way because he broke through the pack there and almost broke it for the touchdown. But Abilene High, Joyner, the running back, of course, Braden Henry, now they've just got so many weapons. We just need to see how they can use it to try to even with the Bobcats here. But a nice run on the kickoff return.
You know, they said last year that Majula Boso was faster than Rylan Bradford. I don't know how that happened, but he was showing some speed getting the ball at the 3-yard line and moving it out to the Eagle 41-yard line. So this will be the second possession for Abilene High. They trail 7-0. Eagles coming in. And at quarterback is Braden Henry. His running back is Ethan Joyner. And the ball set on the near hash mark. 3 receivers to the left. Now they're going to scatter over to the right, spread out. Henry, long count. He'll take the snap and give up the middle, and Ethan Joyner moves from the 41 to the 43-yard line.
Joyner just trying to follow his blocks there, gets a couple of yards. 8:25 here in the first quarter. 2nd and 8 for the Eagles as they are trying to answer the Bobcats touchdown.
So it will be 2nd down. The umpire spots the ball between the hashes on the 43. 8:13 here on the first quarter clock. Henry taking his time, and now Joyner will move to the right pocket of Henry. Pass out in the flat. This is Boso. He's got the ball. 45, nearly gets to midfield, and it's not going to be quite enough for a first down, but it makes 3rd down a whole bunch easier.
Yes, you always want to have 3rd and short, 3rd and 1. Gives the offense a better chance to convert on the first down. But a nice play from Henry to Boso there to get the yardage to make it 3rd and 1 for the Eagles at midfield.
So the Eagles do have the football on the Bobcat half of the field at the 49. 7.5 here in the first quarter. And Henry takes it himself, dives into the big pile. Did he move it enough to get the first down? The officials say no, as the umpire spots it at the midfield stripe. They might have lost about a half a step on that carry. So we're looking at 4th, and Abilene High is going to go for it.
Midfield, Chuck, I think you do go for it here. I like the call that Fulton's doing early in the game. Have confidence in your offense, and we'll see if the Eagles can get the first down here. 4th and 1.
So from the 50-yard line, Braden Henry in the shotgun. He's going to move a couple of receivers stacked up to the left. He's going to hand the ball to Joyner, but we've got a whistle stopping the action. Is that a timeout call?
Yes, timeout by the Eagles. They want to talk about it one more time before they try for the 4th and 1.
So, timeout on the field. Tell you what, Greg, let's just keep it right here while we want to just say thank you to VIP Sports Getaway. They're a proud sponsor of Abilene High and Cooper broadcast throughout the 2025 season. If you've got a large group that you need to get to a church camp or take a trip, call VIP Sports Getaway to help you get where you need to go. They're modern buses, and their van fleet experienced drivers will get you to your destination safely. They have ticket packages, tailgates, and inclusive events for teams, bands, spirit squads. Call VIP Sports at 676-1199 and let them treat you like a VIP. So we are 4th and inches for Abilene High. Eagles called the timeout. 6:34, first quarter. Double tight end set. Braden Henry kind of stuttering his cadence, trying to draw the Bobcats offline. Saw him flinch, but nobody actually broke the line. And now they're going to give the ball to Joyner. He's hit, and he's going to be knocked back to the 49. And the 4th down try did not work for the Eagles. The ball goes over on downs.
Great play by number 7, Mason Van Sickle for the Bobcats. He just penetrated the hole and just hit him behind the line of scrimmage. So a huge turnover for the Bobcats, and they have great field position again, Chuck, here at midfield at the 49-yard line of the Eagles.
So the ball turns over. Bobcats get it at the Eagle 49. That's where they started their last drive after their turnover.
Yes.
So 6:30 first quarter, and Bobcats leading 7-0. Bobcats will come to the line with Micah Smith. The quarterback, he's thrown out in the flat, and it bounces off a receiver. He's going to get it on the second hop, but then he'll be tackled back at the 47 of Central.
Great play by number 5, Trey Shaw. Flew in the backfield, and there was nowhere to go for Central in that play, and it was just a great play by Trey Shaw, number 5, the left inside linebacker. As you can see right there on the replay, just by himself, just took him completely down. So great play by Shaw.
2nd down and 14. We're under 6 minutes in the first quarter. Smith dropping back. And now he's He's going to pitch out on the option, and his back will get hit after he crosses the line of scrimmage. Didn't get too near the 40, Greg's looking like where they're going to spot him. Or did they say he got into Eagle territory at 49?
He got to the 49. It's going to be 3rd and 10 for the Bobcats, and I haven't seen the wishbone in a while. The little option play there.
More like the Houston Bear.
Right, yeah.
So it will be 3rd down and 12 as they spot the down box behind the marker. 3rd and 12. Smith, long count, and he's going to give up the middle again, and his running back will cross over the 50, get to about the 48. That should bring up 4th down. The Eagles tried on 4th down and couldn't convert. Let's see what the Bobcats do this time.
Yeah, it looks like the Bobcats are going to go into a punt formation. Nice play by number 33, Schuyler Moa, the left linebacker for the Eagles. Great play in the interior there to hold the Bobcats to 4th down here. And the Bobcats are going to punt.
And the Bobcats will punter. Caleb Holbert is the punter. The Eagles are going to send one man deep at the 10-yard line. That's Braden Henry. The clock moving at 4.5 here in the first. Eagles would love to come back and tie this one up. Let's see what kind of return they can get out of Braden. Here's the snap, and it's not a thing of beauty. It'll bounce over the 20 and then inside the 20 and be killed at about the 16.
Kind of end over end, Chuck, kind of a wobbly kick that went to the right. Got a little bit of breeze coming out of the east, southeast, blowing into Shotwell Stadium. So the Eagles will have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 16 with 4:15 left in the first quarter.
So it will be 1st down for Abilene High as they get the football. They start the possession at the 16-yard line. The Bobcats of San Angelo Central lead 7-0. Here comes Abilene High, and once again the quarterback for the Eagles is going to be Braden Henry, and his running back is Ethan Joyner. The Eagle Band tried to cheer their team on. Henry long count. Showing blitz to the other side. It's going to be a reverse. Boso trying to get around the right side. He'll get over the 20. He stumbles and still gets another 2 or 3 yards. And let's see, Greg, that was going to be a really nice game to bring up 2nd and short for Abilene High.
Yes, Boso with a great move to the right and almost broke it again. He stumbled again, but he has great speed on the outside there, Chuck.
So it will be 2nd down and 3 from the 23. Henry, long count. Now he's looking at the shift in the defense, and he's going to move a receiver or 2 around. And now lining up behind him still is going to be Joyner. Going in the slot is going to be John Rangel to the left. And Henry looks, throws the ball to Rangel. It goes right through his hands, just at about the 20. So that incompleted pass will stop our first quarter clock at 3:59 and bring up 3rd down.
Boso was looking right into the sun there, Chuck, as Henry threw it to him. Ball kind of got away from Henry there, so it's going to bring up 3rd and 3 for the Eagles. A big 3rd down here early or late here in the first quarter, Chuck.
So let's see what happens with 3rd down coming up. 3rd and 3 from the 23 are the Eagles. Henry at quarterback. Stack receivers to the right, and then you've got a pair off to the left. Henry's going to spread out Boso a little bit more to the left. Henry looks, he's getting pressure. Braden is going to get sacked inside the 15-yard line. That brings up 4th and a whole bunch.
San Angelo was bringing the house there on that play. Got good pressure on the inside and brought it. It's hard to bring Henry down. He's so agile and quick, but San Angelo got through there to bring up 4th down and 13 for Abilene High here in the first quarter with 3:36. The clock is running here in the first quarter.
And Judd Williamson will come in to block for the punt team. Punting out of the end zone is Easton Pittman. He'll actually stand on the goal line in anticipation of the snap. Pair of receivers at midfield for Central. Penalty flag thrown. And looks like the Eagles might have got somebody wearing a white jersey to jump.
Yeah, it's either a false start on the Eagles. They actually jump to make Central jump. So false start on Abilene High, back them up half the distance to the goal. They'll be repeating fourth down.
And now they'll move the football to the 8-yard line. Ryan Esparza ready to snap on the punt. And your punter, Pittman, now near the end stripe, kicks out of the end zone. It's end over end. It'll be fielded fair catch at the 39-yard line. Fair catching the ball is Gabriel Garza for the Bobcats. So Eagles having a little bit of communication problem here in the early minutes of this game, but that's why you play non-district games, to get all the bugs off of you. You remember when James Morton was coaching in Monterey, they would go 0-5 in non-district and then get to the quarterfinals year after year after year.
And speaking of that 1 year, they barely lost to South Lake Carroll 38-35 in Lubbock, Plains Capital Field there in Lubbock.
So it will be first down for the Bobcats. Smith is going to hand off up the middle, and the Eagles are going to take the ball away. And running with the football for Abilene High down the sideline at the 20, the 10, carrying it in for the Eagles is Jaden Starks. That will be a fumble return of at least 55, maybe 65 yards.
Great play by Jalen Starks. He just took the ball away for Xavier Johnson, and then for a big man, had pretty good speed, Chuck, getting down that sideline. This is exactly what Abilene High needed to get back in this game, because the offense is still trying to find its rhythm. But a great play by Starks on the defense, and Abilene High is fixing to tie it up, Chuck.
And now we will see as the Eagles have a chance. 2:49 first quarter. Bobcats 7, Abilene High have a point after try coming up. They have 6 on the board, and that was a good run. Jaden Sparks is showing, hey, I might be a defensive lineman, but you ain't going to catch me. Of course, he had Armada blocking for him in front, too. And right now, let's see who the Eagles are going to have kick the extra point. That is Caden Camp, and the ball is up, and the ball is good. And we're tied up at 2:49 into the first quarter. We'll be back. Abilene High 7, San Angelo Central 7 on AISD Live.
Hey, future.
The Big Country Athletic Hall of Fame is a nonprofit organization dedicated to the preservation of sports history, highlighting the spectacular achievements of the greatest athletes with ties to the Big Country. Come by and celebrate as we salute and honor the lives of those that gave us great joy as they inspired others and promoted the human spirit. The Big Country Athletic Hall of Fame is located in the Mall of Abilene, and admission is free.
See what ATSCU can do for you. Maybe your next bank couldn't be a bank at all. I think the line call Chevrolet kickoff.
Excuse me, into the first quarter. Yeah, this is the first game of the season for the broadcasters too. But anyway, the Eagles have tied it up. You could see the momentum shift as Starks, when he crossed midfield, there was kind of a black Armada just taking him into the end zone. So we are ready as Easton Pittman ready to kick off to the Bobcats. He's going to put a line drive, and it'll be fielded at the 12. Here's the return by Central. They're at the 40, the 30, and finally taken down at about the 38-yard line.
Chuck, we were talking from the scrimmage last week about the black shirt defense, how aggressive and fast they were. Well, they just showed that on that interception. He had about 4 or 5 guys just going right down with him to the end zone when he took the ball away from Johnson.
Bobcats will have a 1st and 10 at their own 39-yard line. We're tied Abilene High 7, Central 7. And here come the Bobcats. The Eagles, black uniforms, white numerals, and the golden eagle helmets. And the Bobcats in their traveling white shirts and white pants. They've got a stripe down the side, orange numbers, and the orange helmets. Smith drops back 2-step, looks, tries to throw downfield, and he's going to overthrow his receiver out in the right flat as he was trying to get the ball to Jesse Smith. No relation.
Well, it looks like Micah Smith's got some jitters, but I think Smith gave up on the route, and Micah just threw the ball. So that's some miscommunication there, Chuck, on that.
So it will be second down and 10 to go for a first down from the 39 for the Bobcats. They're moving personnel in and out as the Eagles still in the 3-4 defense. That's kind of been the trademark, not only in the Mike Fullen era, but they were also in that trademark 3-4 under Steve Warren and Del Van Cox. Smith gets a snap, hands off to the left. He's hitting the backfield, breaks a tackle. Now he's going to cut outside. He's nearly upended, and he'll have to go backwards over the midfield stripe to get a first down for the Bobcats.
Nice run by Xavier Johnson. He's just a big back, and you've got to wrap him up to get him down, Chuck. And they had him at the line of scrimmage, but he broke free and got enough of the first down for Angelo.
So the Bobcats have a first down in Eagle territory at the 47-yard line. First quarter clock moving in 2:12. Abilene High 7 and Central 7. As Smith, the quarterback, Micah barks out a signal and hands up the middle, and his running back's going to be hit after he cleared the line. That was Elijah Allen, the ball carrier, and the Eagle defense responded real quick. Trey Shaw was right there at the right time. No gain on the play as they mark it second down coming up.
Great play by Shaw to break the interior and hit him at the line of scrimmage to break up second down.
And we've got a new sponsor this season with AISD Athletics, and it's our neighbor just right over the fence with Great Lakes Cheese. We're going to tell you about them in just a moment. It is second down. Smith drops back 2 steps. Now he's going to have to look. He finds a clear zone. He'll cross the 45, get it out to the 42. Still not going to be enough for first down.
Nice play by number 33, Skyler Famoa for Abilene High. Smith was trying to weave his way through for first down, but Famoa was right there, and now it's a big third down and 6 for the Eagle defense to stop him for Chuck.
Picked up 4 yards on that carry. It will be 3rd and 6, and you've almost got to think from the 43 on 3rd, which 6 is long. They may try to air it out.
I think so. You know, Coach Smith in the pregame told us that he expects his son to throw and run a little bit. He's very athletic. So he said, don't be surprised if we throw or run on 3rd down.
Trips wide to the left as the football is on the right hash. And now there's a timeout on the field. The clock is stopped with 35 seconds left in the first quarter while there's a timeout there. We're going to take the timeout here on AISD Live. Abilene High 7, San Angelo 7. We'll be back in a moment.
Are you looking to build a solid future in AISD? The construction program at the Lift is a perfect place to start. You'll develop practical skills working with top-of-the-line equipment and learn the techniques employers are looking for. Plus, with expert instructors guiding you, you'll be ready to jump into the workforce or continue your education in construction. We are building foundations today for the students that shape tomorrow. Join the construction program at the Lift in AISD.
Bobcats, 35 seconds left. They are on the Eagle 43-yard line. They're going to go for it. Pair of receivers off to the right, single receiver off to the left. Smith looks, throws the screen to the right, and the receiver is tackled on the spot. Making the catch for the Bobcats is Jimmy Edwards, but he had a cornerback and linebacker wrap him up like he was a cheap hot dog.
Big stand for Abilene High there. Great play by Abilene High's defense. On the replay, you see right there, just a little quick out from Smith, and Abilene High was right there, number 5 and number 12. 5 and 12 is Trey Shaw, and number 12 for Abilene High is Jordan Brown. Great play by both of those. It's on the stop there for your 4th down.
Greg, that's going to be the end of the first quarter. They're going to swap ends, and we'll get ready for the second quarter. We're tying up the first. We'll be back. Let's tell you about Great Lakes Cheese when we come back here on AISD Live.
Hey, Abilene students, do you want to spark up your future? The Lift Electrical Department connects classroom learning with real-life electrical work. Learn to wire, troubleshoot, and to power up the world. From basic circuits to advanced electrical systems, you are prepared for high-demand careers, certifications, and real-world experience all here at the Lift. Not sure about college? The Lift Electrical program equips you with the necessary skills to jump straight into a career after high school. Light up your future today and join the Lift Electrical Technologies program.
As we begin the second quarter, the score 7-7.
Caleb Holbert. He'll be punting to an Eagle that wears number 1 on his jersey. Let's call him Braden Henry, shall we?
Shall we?
All right, so punt team for Central in. Nice clean snap, and the punt gets away. Henry fields it at the 10-yard line. Starts his return to the left. He's at the 15, 20 down the sideline. He will walk the tightrope until he goes out of bounds just at about the 25-yard line.
Great job by Henry hitting the corner, as he's still got that tremendous speed, and he was trying to break it down the sideline, but Central got him out of bounds, and so it's going to be 1st and 10 Abilene High at their own 25 to start the second quarter.
As we start the second quarter, we want to say thanks to Great Lakes Cheese, as they're proud to support local high school sports. Great Lakes Cheese is not just a company, they're an employee-owned family. The people you see coaching, cheering, and playing on those fields are the same folks you'll find working side by side for Great Lakes Cheese every day. They love our community as much as we love their cheese, and we're honored to give them a sponsorship in our broadcast. First down from the 25 on the Eagle half of the field, as the quarterback is Tristan Beal. He will throw it across the middle, and he's got a receiver with a catch at the 45-yard line, and making that catch for the Eagles is John Rangel. First down for Abilene High.
Nice play by Bill to Rangel to get the first down at the 45. Abilene has so many weapons they can use to beat you.
Bill stays in at quarterback on first down. Pair of receivers off to the left. In the slot is Braden Henry. Here's the pass to Braden. He makes the catch, goes to the 45, does a little shuffle, and he's going to be upended at the 47-yard line. Eagles moving the football south to north. That's what you want to do. And right now we're still tied. 11:09 in the first half. Abilene High 7 and the Bobcats 7.
You can see the touchdown, that defensive touchdown got an offense a little spark, kind of gave him some momentum. The momentum has shifted, like you said, Chuck. Bill back in at quarterback for Abilene High.
Bill still in. Tristan taking the snap, looks to the left, throws out to the right, and it's going to be in and out of the hands of Ethan Joyner. That incompleted pass stops the clock at 10:43 left here in the first half. Now, Ethan, I will say, for as young as he is, but he got a lot of experience last year, he puts a little bit of mustard on the ball. He throws a hard ball.
He does. Yes, he does. He's got a good tight spiral there, and he's throwing the ball really well.
So you've got Tristan Beal in the backfield by himself. 3 receivers to the left, pair of receivers to the right. Bill looks, checking for receivers, getting some pressure, and finally he's going to be taken down at about the 39-yard line. You know, Greg, I might just say that was a coverage sack.
Yes, it was. But Tyson Mitchell, 98, the right tackle from Central, got in there and made the tackle, and it's going to bring up 4th and long for Abilene High here in the second quarter.
So it will be 4th and 15 for Abilene High. They'll be punting from their own 20-yard line as Caden Camp ready. Low snap, he's going to pick it up on the bounce, and he will kick it. It's running on its own speed right now as it's going end over end from the 40-35, and it'll finally go out of bounds at the Bobcat 30-yard line. So when the Eagles did punt, at least they didn't give the greatest field position to Central.
Right. Good punt. Nice. Took an Abilene High roll, and now the Central Bobcats are at their own 30. The last 3 drives for Central, they've started at midfield and in Abilene High territory, so it's nice to have them backed up a little bit here, Chuck, here in the second quarter.
So the Eagle defense comes in. We're tied at 7. And just kind of a heads up, in our program at the half, we've got some special guests that are going to come in and visit with us during the Ivy Property Management halftime show. It's first 10 for the Central Bobcats as Smith hands the ball, and the runner's hit, breaks a tackle, and finally going to be taken down by Skylar Famoa as Javon Johnson was carrying the ball, and when Famoa finally got him to stop, he stopped him for a loss.
Yeah, we've called Famoa's name a lot already here in the first half. Great penetration, got in the backfield and made the tackle on Johnson. And Johnson's a big back. He's hard to bring down, but you got to wrap him up, and that time we did.
So it will be second down. Let's call it 15 from the 25. Clock moving at 9:25. Eagles 7, Bobcats 7. And the quarterback, Micah Smith, takes the snap. 2-step drop back, right-hander looking for somebody to throw to. He's getting pressure in the backfield, and the Eagles are going to take him down for another loss inside the 15.
Great move by number 40 there for Abilene High. DeMarcus Reed just made the move in time, threw the offensive lineman out of his way, and just got to Micah Smith with a little help from number 24 there for Abilene High, Amani Strahan.
So third down coming up as the Bobcats look at this third and long. Their line of scrimmage is the 18-yard line. They need to get to the Eagle 40 for a first down.
Yes.
Smith in the shotgun, drops back, gets pressure, throws across the middle. It's going to be caught and dropped at the 27-yard line. That's going to bring out fourth down. So far, if you're looking at this game, your MVP on both teams is going to be your punter.
Right. But nice play by the safety, Charles Meeks, to break up the pass. And so the Abilene High should get good field position out of this, Chuck. As Central's punting back at their own 16.
That incompleted pass stops the first half clock at 8:26. And Greg, we want to inform our audience that there's a new rule in the UIL they've adapted from the NCAA as well as the NFL. They will stop the action for a 2-minute warning. But here's the punter for Central, and that's going to be Holbert. Gets a good clean snap, puts a left foot underneath it, but the action stopped. There was a whistle blown before the football went, and it's going to be a legal procedure against the Bobcats. So move the ball from the 18-yard line and scoot it back a little more. Let him punt it out of the end zone.
It was actually a false start. He jumped. Central jumped on that early. But legal procedure, false start, is the same thing. So they're
it's the same hand gesture.
Yeah, and they're backing up 5 yards. And also, the legal formation we had earlier, it's the same signal as well. So, but it backs them up 5 at 4th and 29 on their own 11, punting out their own end zone now for Central.
On fourth down, you've got Holbert kicking out of the end zone, and he is going to put a boot under this one. Braden Henry fields it. 49-yard line, starts his return. He's going to the left. He's got blocking downfield at the 40, the 30, the 25, the 20, the 10, and that is an Abilene Eagle touchdown.
What a move by Henry. You saw the world-class speed that he has. Took the ball at midfield, went to the left, and he was gone. And that's the kind of speed that Braden Henry can bring. And Chuck, I have to say, he looks fabulous. After the injury he had last year, he looks great.
So it's 7:54 left here in the first half. The Eagles have broken the tie. They lead by a baker's dozen, 13-7. Here comes the point after try for Abilene High. The kicker is Easton Pittman. His holder is going to be Tristan Beal. And we're waiting. There's a little confusion on the zebras out on the field. Now, the Eagles counting, they just had 10. And you can do it with 10 guys if you're Tony Dorsett playing in the Vikings on a 99-yard run. But on an extra point, let's get all 11 guys out there. Here's the snap. Here's the kick. Pittman's kick is up, and it is good. Now, 7:54 left in the first half. The Eagles take the lead after a great punt return from Braden Henry. And our score, Abilene High 14, the Bobcats 7. We'll be back with more on AISD Live.
Hey, Future. Hey future creators, are you ready to dive into the exciting world of video production? AISD's Digital Communications program is where your journey starts.
Take 3, Mark.
You can design the next iconic promo, broadcast all the big games, and produce your own short films all at the Lift, where you'll get hands-on experience with the latest gear like cameras, sound mixers, lights, and more. Let your creativity shine. Start your journey in digital media with AISD.
That legacy lives on today. Together for better health. Up next, the Lawrence Hall Chevrolet kickoff. Handled by Houston Pittman.
You look, and Pittman almost looks like he's ready to kick it on sides or like a pooch kick. But he is pooch kicking it. Lands at the 27, picked up by one of the Bobcats, and then he is smothered like a chicken fried steak with Eagle coverage mitt all over him.
Great. Abilene High did that a lot last year with the pooch kick, Chuck, and they recovered a lot of them. They almost did it right there. Good strategy. Try to catch the Bobcats off guard, and now San Angelo again is backed up on their own 35. The momentum has shifted, Chuck, as you can tell, as we lead 14-7 with 7:51 left here in the first half.
Eagle defense ready to be in place. When I said smothered like a chicken fried steak, that's that real good gravy kind of with some lumps in it, black pepper on top. Here's the Eagle defense. 3-4 is their configuration as Micah Smith, quarterback of the Central Bobcats, is in the backfield, throws that to the left. He's got a good screen blocking, and his receiver moves from the 35 over the 45. That's going to be the Bobcats' fourth first down of the game. And Abilene High so far also has 4. So we're ready to see what the Bobcats try to pull out of their hat. Eagles leading 14-7. Abilene High defensively looking really good so far. Smith, pair of receivers to the wide side of the field. That is to his right. 2-step drop back. He's looking on a drag pattern across the middle, and it just didn't work. He was looking for Colton Hill. He didn't find Colton Hill.
No. Micah's struggling a little bit throwing the football. He's trying to mix it up. He's overthrown a lot of his passes. He's just trying to find his rhythm right now, Chuck, with 7:10 left here in the first half.
2nd and 10 coming up. Incompleted pass does stop the clock. Eagles doing a little shift in the secondary. Xavier Delacruz moving a little more playing center field. Charles Meeks over because they've got 2 receivers in the flat to the right. Give on a dive play. The running back hit at the line. Great job by Trey Shaw wrapping him up for a loss. And let me tell you, the left linebacker, his senior leadership is showing on the field.
Yes, sir, it is. And now you're starting to see the black shirts starting to dominate the line of scrimmage. And now they're wrapping up Xavier Johnson, which they didn't do in the first quarter, but they're doing it now. And now the Bobcats have 3rd down and 10 from their own 45.
6:41 clock running here in the second quarter. Greg, we've got 2 different groups listening to our broadcast in Florida tonight. Of course, the great Bobby Johnson, who is the former assistant of Abilene High in St. Augustine, and my wife and daughter are on the beach in Florida listening to our broadcast. Pass downfield, intercepted by the Eagles. They'll make the interception at the 28-yard line. That's the 2nd turnover for Abilene High here in the first half.
Great play by Jeremiah Collins. Read it all the way and jumped over the receiver and picked off the pass. And Abilene High has definitely taken control of this game here in the second quarter, Chuck.
So the Eagles get the takeaway. They will get possession at their own 28. They lead by 2, and now they get a chance to see if they can put a little ice cream on top of the sliced pie where they lead.
Yeah.
So here comes Abilene High. You're looking at your Eagle quarterback is Tristan Beal. Braden Henry's going to line up in the slot to the left. He may line up at running back. and that is where Henry will line up and running back. So from the 28-yard line, Beal hands the ball. It's going to be a reverse. This is a Boso, and Majul moves the football back to about the original line of scrimmage. He ran a whole lot of area just to get to the same place.
Right. Good move by Boso not to lose yardage on that run, and his helmet come off, so he'll have to come out for one play. But you see Abilene High has so many different weapons. They're using Braden Henry as a running back. Now they're going to bring him out as a slot receiver for the Eagles, as Tristan Beal is in at quarterback for Abilene High with 5:42 clocks running here in the first half.
And the Eagles are going to use Henry a lot like they use Ryland Bradford for the last couple of years. And here's a pass out in the flat, and it's knocked down, intended for John Rangel. And the safety came in on the blitz and knocked it away incomplete. That stops the first half clock at 5:32.
Well, Chuck Blaine Belcher, all he saw was green and end zone. He hit it all the way. I think he took his eyes off the ball. So that should have been an interception for San Angelo.
So now with the incompleted pass and 3rd and 10 coming up for Abilene High, now you've got Braden Henry in at the quarterback slot. Pair of receivers to the left and to the right for Abilene High. And the Eagles senior quarterback takes 2 steps back. He sees the lane. He's going for it 30 over the 40 and will move to the 45-yard line. He needed 10 and he got 17.
Great move by Henry. He shows his quickness. And of course, he was going to throw, but everybody dropped back, left the open lane, and he got the first down for Abilene High.
So it will be first down for the Eagles. Far hash mark of the 45 still on Abilene High territory. 3 receivers, trips to the right, pair off to the left. You've got Rangel, and now going in motion is Jeremiah Collins. He's going to go over, so you'll have now triple receivers to the wide side of the field. Braden Henry, long count on the snap. Taking it and gives. This is Joyner over the 50. The 45 gets a first down near the 40-yard line. Just when you think the Eagles are going to throw it, then they lot you up with Ethan Joyner.
I like the way they're mixing up the offense here, offensive plays, using Bill and Braden Henry. Now Henry back at quarterback, and Abilene High's on the move with 4:32 left here in the first half.
The Eagles right now, just a good mix of offense. A lot of it being called by Kobe Hartfield, and he has just turned the momentum around, got the turnovers to get them tied up, and now the Eagles want to go ahead and take the lead. Here's the give again. Ball carrier for Abilene High is going to be Ethan Joyner. Joyner moves the football from the 42 down to, well, the umpire won't stand still on the sideline, to the 37. That's a 5-yard gain, bringing up 2nd and 5.
Right. I like the way Joyner complements Henry in the running game. They mix him around a lot. But Joyner's another weapon with a lot of speed that Abilene High is using well here in the first half.
And he kind of rose to a different level in the second half of the season last year and became the marquee back for Abilene High. And he's showing that capability again tonight against the Bobcats. On 2nd down and 5, Braden Henry in the shotgun. Once again, pair of receivers to the left, to the right, and Mike Fullen sends a timeout signal into the linesman. So we're going to stop the action at 3:29 here in the first half. Abilene High 14 and marching, and the Bobcats of San Angelo Central 7. We'll be back in a moment.
Looking for a hands-on career path with high demand and great pay? The welding program at The Lift gives students real-world skills that lead to real opportunities. Whether it's gates or flatbeds, handrails or heavy equipment, if it's metal, you can weld it too. With great instruction, you can master all 4 major welding processes. So get ready to build a career with endless possibilities and join the welding program at The Lift. It isn't just a trade, it's your future.
The next time you need a new car preparation need, come see us or visit us online 24/7 at BarnesHallAbileneOnline.com. Live or anywhere else.
From from the 37 of the Bobcats. Man goes in motion to the right. That's a Bosa. They're going to fake the handoff. Henry's going to take it over the 35, get it to the 33, and he's about the length of a Butterfinger candy bar to get a first down.
Close, nice run by Henry, following his blockers up to get third and now short. We've got a kind of a surprise from Hazel right now in the second quarter with 1:17 left. Cooper's beating Hazel 22-7.
All right, we're going to keep up with that score. Cooper thinking that this year is going to be a rebound year, and we hope the best for Aaron Rohn and the red and blue. So let's come back to action. Hand the ball. This is going to be Joyner, and that'll be an Eagle first down as he gets it to the 30-yard line.
Like I said, Joyner, I like the way Abilene High's mixing up, running pass, using Joyner, using Henry. Both have tremendous speed, and Abilene High, Chuck, if they could score here before the half, they could take a commanding 21-7 lead.
And the Eagles do get the first down. Now there's an injury timeout. We have a downed player on the field for Abilene High, so they're going to stop everything and let the medical staff, Billy, Abby, and the trainers from Abilene High go out and check on him. But once again, let me just kind of share with you the story of one of our sponsors, and that's Great Lakes Cheese. They just tell us we love the Abilene community as much as we love our cheese, and they're honored to give back to the young athletes who represent the future of Abilene, whether it's on the field, the classroom, or at Great Lakes Cheese. Teamwork and dedication are what they drive for success. So thank you for letting us be a part of the journey from the family of Great Lakes Cheese to yours. Let's keep supporting our kids, our schools, and our hometown pride. And they have turned into excellent neighbors since they opened up a couple of years ago. Back to action. 1st and 10, Abilene High from the 30 of the Central Bobcats. Braden Henry, the quarterback right now for the Eagles. Pair of receivers to the right, single receiver split wide to the left for the Eagles. That's John Rangel. Now he'll go in motion to the right. He'll go behind Henry. And now Henry's going to carry it. Joyner's his lead block at the 30, 25, down the sideline. He gets to near the 20, and that could be close enough for another Eagle first down.
Wow, Henry took a shot, but you just see this momentum just carried him forward. Took the hit from the Central Bobcat guy. As we're watching the replay here, he just followed his blocker, took the shot from number 9, Jackson Kennedy, and still got about 10 yards for the first down. It's a great run by Henry there for Abilene.
It is another first down for the Abilene Eagles. This is the 6th first down for AHS here in the first half. On first down, football spotted at the near hash mark. 3 receivers wide to the right. Henry in the shotgun. To his left is Ethan Joyner, and give the ball to Joyner. He goes around the right side. 15, 10, 5, and into the end zone for another Abilene Eagle touchdown.
Joyner showed his agility there, Chuck. Went to the right side, weaved in and out, and broke it into the end zone for the touchdown. And now with 2:24 left, Abilene High's taking a commanding 20-7 lead so far here in the first half.
And so now the Eagles will try the extra point. Kicking for Abilene High is going to be Easton Pittman. His holder is Tristan Beal. And that would give the Eagles at least a 2-touchdown lead if we went into the locker room for intermission. Here's the kick, and this is good. And so now the score is Abilene High 21, Central 7. We'll be back with more Eagle football SD Live.
Ready for a more convenient way to purchase Abilene High or Cooper game tickets and a faster way to get to your seat in Shotwell Stadium? Abilene ISD is proud to partner with Hometown Tickets for online ticket sales at all high school athletic events in AISD. For easy access to purchasing, storing, and scanning your tickets at the gate, download the Hometown Fan app available in any mobile app store. Tickets for all high school athletic events can also be purchased on the AISD website via the ticket information page under Athletics or at the gate with a credit card. Varsity home game tickets go on sale at 8 a.m. on the Monday of game week through 12 p.m. on game day. Tickets are not sold on AISD campuses, and cash will not be accepted at Shotwell venue events. Additional information about sub-varsity and middle school game tickets can be found at AbileneISD.org. So what are you waiting for? Download the Hometown Fan app and get your tickets for the big game today.
SD Live kicking off for Abilene High will be Easton Pittman, and he's going to pooch it again, and it's going to be fair caught at about the 40, and that's where the Eagles are going to contain him. Do you remember about 2 years ago the Eagles were having problems with the pooch kick, and in fact against Midland Legacy, Legacy turned the pooch kick covers into 3 scores over Abilene High.
Yeah, they had trouble back then, but I think they've perfected it now. And then again, they were about a yard short from recovering that pooch kick. San Angelo Central's trying to figure out how to defend that pooch kick, and now Central's in a hole, Chuck, 21-7 here with 2:22 left here in the first half.
It is first down for the Bobcats from their 41-yard line as Micah Smith, 2 steps. Now he's going to roll to the right, throw it out in the flat. He's got a receiver with a catch who steps out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Making that catch is Jimmy Edwards. You know, this week I went and Googled up what is a pooch kick, and Google tells me it's not kicking a dog. Steve Warren would say, yeah, we used to kick dogs to practice our pooch kicks, but it's actually you just kind of pooch the ball to try to get it to inside the 35-yard line. 2nd down and 9 coming up for the Bobcats from the 42, 2:15. Clock stopped when Edwards stepped out of bounds. Micah Smith takes it. He's going to pitch it outside. Looks like a little Houston veer. Bill Yeoman getting it to Greg Landry, or Greg Landry pitching it to somebody outside. A couple of yards on the pickup. That should bring up about 4th down for the Bobcats. That's 3rd. And
2-minute timeout, Chuck.
That's true. What we were telling you earlier, new this year, the UIL has adopted the 2-minute warning rule from the NFL and NCAA to stop the half 2 minutes before it runs out. So we've got a 2-minute warning, but it's only a minute timeout. Like you and I talked about earlier when we were trying to guess yardage, Greg. Neither one of us are math majors, but hey, if they want to call it a 2-minute warning and just charge you for a minute, that's okay with them.
Right. One thing I've noticed here in the second quarter, the Abilene High defense has really settled in now. They're kind of just dominating the line of scrimmage, taking it over, and you can tell the big turnover. And then we've had a couple of 3-and-outs for San Angelo. Now we have a 3rd and 9. So the defense for Abilene High has really settled in, and that's what Coach Fullen was looking for, is for the defense to really step up tonight.
And, you know, Fullen was defensive coordinator for Abilene High before he became head coach, and he thinks defensively. But I remember another old coach who used to do defenses, and Tom Landry won a whole lot of championships whenever he was the head coach of the Cowboys, but he still ran the defense. All right, let's come back to action on 3rd down and 9 as the 2-minute warning and 2-minute timeout has already expired. Micah Smith back in the shotgun, takes a snap. Now he's going to try to option to the right. No, he's going to reverse his field, and he's running for his life. And with a good angle, he nearly got caught. Smith dove out of bounds at the 50-yard stripe. That's going to be another 1st down for the Bobcats. But personally, Greg, I thought Jeremiah Collins had him in his sights.
You saw the speed of Jeremiah Collins, just barely missed Micah Smith. You can see on the replay here, he was flying to Micah Smith, and Micah just happened to get away from both him and Samani Strahan, number 20.
So it is a 1st down at midfield for the Bobcats. And when Smith stepped out of bounds, that stopped the first half clock at 1:49. Double tight end set. Smith 2-step drop back. Right-hander getting pressure. Breaks the rush, but then he has to unload it. That's an incomplete pass. That stops the clock at 1:43.
Great pressure from number 28, Lavian Coots, and number 54, Wyatt McMillan for the Eagles, just making Smith uncomfortable all here in the first half, just getting him out of his comfort zone pretty much.
There's a lot of lessons can be learned by Abilene High after this game is over. You look at the video and you see where you need to tighten up, because they're going to have their hands full against Permian next week. 2 weeks.
Yep, next week's the Crosstown Showdown.
Oh, that's right. Cooper gets to come over here. And on second down, all my friends are Cooper graduates, including my daughter, would go, Dad, why are you bagging on the Cougs?
We got a timeout for Central.
So, with the timeout on the field, they're going to stop the clock at 1:42, and then we'll get ready for our halftime show. Welcoming in a new sponsor to the AISD broadcast is going to be Ivy Property Management, and just great folks, Randy Ivy. We get to share his story with you. Timeout called. Everybody gathered around Mark Smith at the central side of the field. Eagles over here with the Eagle coaching staff at the near hash mark on the 45.
Chuck, I've just been really impressed in the second quarter with Abilene High's adjustments and how they've just kind of taken over this game. Started with that turnover for the touchdown.
It is second down at midfield for the Bobcats. 2nd and 10 coming up. Eagles leading 21-7. Micah Smith in the shotgun. Johnson is running back to his left. They've got an H-back almost lined up like a wing, and they're going to hand the ball. This will be to Johnson. He will get over the midfield stripe, and that's about as far as he gets. That's going to bring up third and a whole bunch for the Bobcats, and the clock keeps moving.
Yep. Great pursuit again by Abilene High's front, and now they're starting to wrap Johnson up. He was getting outside in the first quarter, but they've made the adjustments, and they're starting to wrap him up now every time he gets the ball.
Both teams have one timeout left here in the first half. Pair of receivers going to go out way to the left, single receiver out to the right for the Bobcats. Jimmy Edwards is split out right. Smith drops back, looks. He's going to throw it across the middle, and it's picked off again at the 23-yard line. The Abilene Eagles get the turnover.
Great play by number 21 for Abilene High. Charles Meeks just went up and took the ball, and that's the third turnover here in the first half for the Eagles. For Central's had 3 turnovers, and Abilene High would love to get another score with the 59 seconds of one timeout here in the first half.
Well, they've got a 2-touchdown lead as they get ready to go to the locker room for the half. Let's see if they go for the lightning strike. I remember a couple of decades ago when John Payne was the head coach at ACU, and he had some quarterback named Rex Lamberti that came out of Permian, and he always said, if we get a turnover, we're going for lightning strike on the first play. Let's see if that's on in Mike Fullen's playbook.
Yep.
So we come up on first down, pair of receivers off to the right, single receiver to the left. Braden Henry in the backfield. And Henry faking the pitch, trying to go behind right guard, goes into a pile of white jerseys.
Good pursuit by San Angelo there. Braden was trying to just do a little RPO and run player option and just try to go up the middle, but San Angelo made a good play there to stop it. 2nd down and 10 for Abilene High with 38 seconds. Clock is running here in the first half.
And the Eagles do need to snap the football. There's 32 seconds on the game clock, but 16 on the play clock. So they're going to have to run one more play before intermission. Braden Henry sends his team to the line. Splits them out. Pair to the left, single receiver to the right once again. And Henry takes the snap, and he's going to try to carry it around the right side. No, he's going to turn back as a counter. He's at the 25, the 30. The Rockets are on at the 40, the 50, the 40, the 30. Cuts across the grain at the 20, the 5, and goes into the end zone for another Abilene Eagle touchdown. Wow.
You talked about lightning, Chuck, with that lightning struck right there with Braden Henry. They should have tackled him on the right side, but he made a great move and came all the way down that left sideline, and he showed his true speed, Chuck. He was gone. Now, we did have a flag after the touchdown. I don't know if it was before or after. They've got a flag down in the end zone, Chuck. I don't know what they called there. I think might have been some extracurricular activities on the Eagles.
Well, Braden, if you look at the replay, Greg, and we do have that pleasure, whenever he gets inside the 5, he's hit, and he goes into the end zone backwards.
Yeah. But what a run. Chuck, you called it. With no time on the clock, what a way to end the first half for Abilene High. Wow. What a run by Henry.
And to kick the extra point for the Eagles is Eastman Pittman. His holder is Tristan Beal. Our new score 27-7. Eagles come to the line, and now the officials are going to come over and talk to Mike Fullen as the ball is getting ready to be teed up. And I think they're going to let the extra point try.
It looked like Henry's helmet came off, Chuck, in the end zone. I don't know if it came off or it was ripped off, but there were 2 flags down. So the penalty's against San Angelo, they're going to mark it off on the kickoff.
Well, we're out of time.
Oh, that's right. He just said mark it off on the kickoff. So extra point here. Well, the half can't end on a defensive penalty.
This is correct. All right. Here comes the extra point try after the 81-yard run. Kick is up, and it is good. Our new score, Abilene High 28, Central 7. And since the half can't end on a defensive penalty, the Eagles are going to decline it, and everybody's going to the house for halftime.
That's exactly right, Chuck. And what a way to end the first half for Abilene High with Braden Henry's 85-yard TD run. Abilene High kind of struggled in that first quarter, but they have really exploded. They've scored 2 touchdowns off of those 3 turnovers, Chuck, and they have a commanding lead, 28-7 here at halftime.
And it's only halfway through.
Yes,
Tell you
sir.
what, let's take a break, and we're going to come back with the Ivy Property Management halftime show as you are enjoying Abilene Eagle football on AISD Live.
Can you help me?
What you got there?
Will you help my mom?
Hey, crew, I'll give the first move to anyone who signs up to be an organ donor. How do you do it?
Easy. Just go to organdonor.gov.
More donors means more hope. Sign up at organdonor.gov.
She thinks she's being funny, only she's not making you laugh. She's making you feel left out. Thanks to social media, it's easy to feel bullied, intentional or not. So instead of pushing back, think about rising above. It's easy to be upset, not as easy to be bigger. For some great insights on bullying and dealing with teen depression, visit yourlifeyourvoice.org. Support yourself and your friends. Be a lifter.
Meet Norm. He lives with anxiety, but with the help of this latest innovation from Be Normal, he can be normal, just like everyone else. With the swipe of a finger, you can project happiness, confidence, machismo. Why settle for being real when you can be normal? The Normal Maker, new from Be Normal. This item doesn't really work because there's no such thing as normal. We're all different. What we like, how our brains work. In fact, 1 in 5 of us live with mental illness. Don't filter who you are. Start by talking to someone you trust. And remember, there is no normal.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. For your halftime enjoyment, San Angelo ISD is proud to present one of Texas' oldest and most successful drill teams in Texas, the Central High School Texans. Texans are under the direction of Kelly Green and Melanie Gutierrez. The Texans are led on the field by Captain Amisado Obregón, Captain Kennedy White, First Lieutenant Rosalind Humphreys, Senior Lieutenant Bethany Gonzalez, Senior Lieutenant Karina Rodarte, Junior Lieutenant Gracie Boswell, Junior Lieutenant Mayla Martinez. The veteran line members of the week are Adeline Garrett, The rookie line member of the week is Annie Pittman. Tonight, the Texans will be performing to the all-time classic, These Boots Were Made for Walking. Please give it up for the Central High School Texans.
My newly engaged son going to get married this spring, and so we're excited about that, but we're excited about what we're seeing from the Eagles tonight too.
Of course, you know, you and I have had so many good minutes over the years. One of the times I was like, okay, Steve is doing the right thing. 2015, San Angelo, the Eagles, how many rain timeouts and lightning timeouts did you have to keep the kids in the locker room? Was it like 3 or 4? But it was over an hour that there were timeouts on the field. Eagles came back, scored, and you had a chance to either kick the field goal or go for 2 and go into overtime. You made a coaching decision. What you told me later was to benefit your kids because they were just plumb tired from sitting still.
Well, we did. We had a 2-hour delay, which was unheard of, but it was a district ball game, and we didn't have a choice, so we had to stay there and play. And what was interesting about that, Chuck, is it was 4th down and 2, so we've got to go out and play one play. If we don't get a first down, game's over. And we're on about the 25-yard line going in, and so we get the first down. So the game gets to continue. But had Central stopped us on that play, the game would have been over after about a 2-hour delay. But we had such a long time that we had discussed all kinds of scenarios, and we determined that our best bet was the way things had played out and the way it looked. If we went in and scored, we were going to go for the win because we had the momentum by scoring when we did, and we're going to put the ball in Abram Smith's hands. I mean, that's a no-brainer. The kid was one of the best running backs to ever play at Abilene High, and to this day, I still think he got in on the 2-point conversion, but the referees didn't think so, and we lost that night. But it was a very, very unusual night, to say the least. We stayed in the locker room for over 2 hours with about 2 minutes to go in the game.
And, that's nothing that's new to you. Let's go back to 2009 season. First game of the season here at Shotwell. And lightning timeout after lightning timeout. And you were playing one of the Plano teams?
Plano East.
Plano East.
Johnny Ringo, Plano East. And Johnny, to this very day, we were 15-0 that year, and Johnny, to this day, would tell you that if we'd have got to play that game, we would have been 15-1.
Hey, that's Coach Ringo.
It is.
We've
no
both
doubt
known
about
him for a while.
But
he finally, after like the 2nd or 3rd hour, just decided, I'm putting my kids on the bus. We're not going to play until 2 a.m. And he put them on the bus, and so there wasn't a forfeit. The game was just called, and you ended up 15-0, and that was a great win over Katy.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? That was a great season. A lot of great memories from that season, and that's one of them. Sitting here through a rain delay that long, and I didn't hold any ill will towards Johnny and those guys. I would have put my kids on the bus and gone home too. It was a long bus ride for somebody from Plano that wasn't even used to going 15 minutes to go play.
It was a non-district game, and you just don't need to get your kids beat up before you get into district play.
No, you really don't. And but that was just one of many, many things that we can talk. We can sit here all night long and talk about things that happened over my career at Abilene High, and reminisce and talk about a lot of good things that happened. We really could.
You coached around before you came to Abilene High. Gary Gaines was the head coach. You took Gary's place whenever he took the step down to San Angelo.
I did, and I was very honored to be able to do that. Royce Curtis hired me immediately when Gary decided to go to San Angelo, which was a real shock to all of us. We didn't even think he was entertaining thoughts for going anywhere else. But God rest his soul. We buried Gary about a year, 2 years, whatever it was. But I look back on that, and I'm thankful that he did take the Central job because I got the Abilene High job and never looked back.
Well, and, he came back a couple of years later, coached at ACU for a number of years, and I enjoyed being with Coach Gaines so much. When the Wildcats would go out of town, I wouldn't ride with the broadcast crew. I wanted to ride on the bus with Coach Gaines.
Yeah, that he was a good man, and I learned a lot from him. And 2 of the games that we played in my career against San Angelo Central when Gary was the head coach were probably 2 of the hardest games I ever had to coach because I had so much respect for him. And a lot of times, you're just, he was a mentor. And, we had 2 really good games against him. We were fortunate to win both. But I can't say enough good about Gary Gaines and what he meant to me and my family and my coaching career.
But then again, when you became the head coach and athletic coordinator at Abilene High, the field surface down here was a goat ranch. There were a bunch of just stickers and cucumber and everything. And it was the 2002 game where we had the onslaught. There were cars stuck out in the parking lot, and that was when we started the Shotwell committee. Bless Norm Archibald's heart, along with Robert Paulin and Stan Lambert, and a bunch of us just got together and we figured out soda pop money's going to buy turf. And then we've moved it eventually to where we have one of the best facilities west of Dallas right now.
Well, this old girl has seen a few facelifts over the years, but it's still a special place. Shotwell is. There's when you talk about Pete Shotwell, I mean, he won state championships back in the 30s with Abilene High. And so much history here at the stadium, not just for Abilene High and Cooper, but many people talk about Shotwell, how East has met West here and played games in the playoffs and things like that. But it's a great place to play. They really have done a great job upgrading. The infrastructure is awesome. The press box, as you well know, Chuck, it was a dangerous place to call a game 5, 6, 7 years ago, but now it's state of the art, and it's really. I was telling Coach Garfield that the current AD, who's a great friend and a great athletic director a minute ago, really the only problem I see is they didn't have enough chocolate chip cookies up there at the food bar.
Hey, quit hiding my plate over here. I've got 2. But I remember the first game I ever broadcast out of Shotwell, 1982. Second round playoff game, Ballinger Bearcats against the Breckenridge Buccaneers. I was doing Breckenridge play-by-play. Back then, Bill Pierce was the coach of the Bucs. He had just taken over from Larry Parker. And Ballinger's third-year head coach was Randy Allen.
Right, Coach Allen. Yeah, that's been a while ago.
Yeah, it was. Anyway, whenever I got here and started coming up these cement steps, I was thinking, this ain't Buckaroo Stadium.
No, it wasn't. But again, Shotwell's is a great place to play, and so many memories right here. And every time I come to this stadium, there's always something that pops into my head about a game that we played here in the past, or something will tweak something in my mind and it'll just make me smile about all the good times that we had here over the years.
And then, of course, I got the double dip because for 16 seasons I was on the broadcast crew for ACU, so I get to see your guys win and then come back and see the Wildcats play well also.
Yeah, sharing the stadium with ACU was always a logistical thing you had to deal with and practice and stuff, but I'm happy for them that they have an on-campus stadium. It's a really nice place, and I know they're proud of it, and I know they're proud to have their own stadium. But that's just part of the mystique of Shotwell. There were some great players that came here that played at ACU, and the team. The national record field goal was kicked right here. Things like that. There's first-round draft choices that played out here. There's all kinds of history at this stadium, and they'll continue to be for years to come, I feel like.
Well, good. Steve, I'm just so proud of you. I've never known anybody that has gotten into the, I take that back, I know Randy, but, I've not ever been as close a friend to anyone that's ever been selected to the Hall of Fame, and I don't know anybody that deserves that honor better. And when you're honored by your peers, it gives you a better warm, fuzzy feeling on the soul.
Yeah, it does, and that's the thing to me that makes me feel the best about the whole thing is that your peers are the ones that said you belong in this hall because of the things, not only the things that you and your teams did on the field, but a lot of the things you did off the field as far as supporting the association, and supporting the community of Abilene. And Coach Fullen said it the best. Our current head coach, who was my defensive coordinator for many, many years, Mike said it best on an interview. He said, I feel like a little piece of me is going into that hall with Steve. And I think a lot of people in Abilene should feel that way as well, because that's the way I feel. I think it's an Abilene thing, a north side of Abilene thing. A lot of special things happened at North 6 and Shelton for 20 years, and I was just very, very pleased and very happy to be a part of that.
And, I think, Coach, that you were able to rise to a different level when it came to big games. Let's talk about 2007 beating South Lake at Texas Stadium. That was awesome. And y'all were gentlemen when the game was over. Your team was walking out to shake hands, and the Dragons were walking towards the locker room, and then their running back's dad, Nate Newton, who should be in the Hall of Fame, turned them around and made them walk out and shake your guys' hands. And you and Coach Dodge even shook hands after that game.
We did, and I was so happy that Nate Newton did that. It was a high school football game, and I know they were disappointed the way that thing ended, and we were just ecstatic because we had won the football game. But there was a life lesson there for sure, and I'm certainly, that's one of the things that you remember, that somebody recognized the fact that it didn't need to end that way, and I'm glad that it didn't. And we were thrilled to win that game, and press on, win a couple more before we got ousted in the semifinals that year.
Well, and then let's go back to 2009, Cedar Hill. You're at Shotwell East or at Birdville. And my favorite play and my favorite call in 44 years of calling football was Herschel out of the Dirty Bird going 95 yards. I knew when he hit the 40 and nobody was close to him. That's still my favorite personal call.
Yeah, that was exciting. That really was. I look back on it from a coaching standpoint. Everybody looks at that play, and that play was huge. It probably broke their back and ended it for them that day. But the play that Karsten Goodman made, knocking their running back out of bounds on the 1 to give us a chance to stop them 4 plays inside the 1-yard line, to get the ball back, to give to Herschel. Those plays were just the epitome of what I thought our teams exemplified all the time. Great effort. I mean, you're talking about Herschel Sims was a great athlete, but he wanted to win really bad. Karsten Goodman was a good athlete, but there was 20 other athletes on that field that were better than him, but he wanted to really bad. 3 of the 4 tackles Anthony Cariola makes on the 1-yard line. Anthony Cariola is not 5'8". That's if he's in his cleats on his tiptoes. So those type things you look back on as coaches, and you're really proud of the kids because they believed in their effort, and that's what helped us win that game that day.
Well, and they were ranked number 1 in the Texas high school polls, not in Texas, but across the nation. Coach McGuire had a great team that Saturday, but when the buzzer went off at the end of the first half, I could tell the Eagles were going to win because the Longhorns walked off the field. The Eagles ran towards the locker room, and I'm like, these guys have a fire in their bellies, and these guys think they got a gimme putt.
Well, we believed that we could play with them after we got the idea out of our mind that these guys are just tremendous athletes and we don't have a chance. As the game progressed, our kids got more confidence and realized, hey, we can play with these guys. It doesn't matter if they're all Division I athletes or they're ranked number 1 or whatever it is. I can remember at halftime going in and making a few tweaks, not a lot, on both sides of the football, but I just remember having to calm the kids down a little bit because they were excited about the fact that they felt like they were going to win that ball game, and sure enough, we did that day. It was a big win for us, big win.
Yes, it was, and it was a pleasure to call a lot of your games. And you are the all-time winningest coach in the history of Abilene High.
That's a special deal. I mean, that's a there's been some great coaches. Pete Shotwell, who the stadium's named after. Obviously, Chuck Mosier, who the field house is named after. There's been a lot of guys win a lot of games, but we were fortunate that had a lot of great coaches over the years. Guys that could have left and gone on to be head coaches other places, but that loved coaching at Abilene High, loved our mission there, loved being able to coach those kids, and I had opportunities as well, but just didn't want to do that. I wanted to be an Abilene Eagle the whole time, and I just knew if we kept plugging away at it that we were going to put ourselves in a position to win a state championship at some point, and the culmination of that happened in 2009, and that was kind of the cherry on top of what had been a pretty tremendous career to that point.
Yes, it was, and of course, the entire town, it didn't matter if they were wearing red and blue or purple and yellow or anything, they were Abilene Eagles.
Yeah, they were. A lot of support from the whole community, and another thing about Shotwell Stadium, Chuck, a lot of people went down the night before to San Antonio to the game, or to be there ahead of us the next day, but we had a pep rally here at Shotwell the night before. And I'm not kidding. I think this side of the stadium was just about full of people. We had a lot of the older Eagles off of Chuck's team that were still there. David Borland spoke to the crowd and some of those guys, and that was a special night. I mean, there was a lot of people here just to send us off, the next day.
And speaking of Coach Mosier, I've never told you this before. Never had the chance to meet him, but when he was the coach at Abilene High, I was born in 1956, and my family lived on Burger Street, a couple of blocks away from where they were building the new Abilene High. My dad went to a Bible study that was regularly taught by Coach Mosier, and my first name is Charles, but I've been Chuck just because he liked Coach Mosier. And I'm glad that he didn't like Bum Phillips anymore, because my dad probably would have called me a bum too. But
well, I was not fortunate enough to meet Coach Mosier, but I did meet his wife one day. I walked out of my office and was headed over to the training room, and there was a lady standing out there whom I did not know, and she was looking at all those numbers of the state championships, district championships, and all those numbers. And I asked her if I could help her, and she said, no, I just wanted to stop by for just a moment. And I introduced myself, and it was Coach Mosier's wife, and we had a good conversation. And the last thing she told me, and I'll never forget it, she said, Coach Warren, I really think that my Chuck would be very proud of you and the Eagles. And that meant a lot to me that day, because we were on a path then, but I think what we had done at that point was made those guys that played for Chuck Mosier pretty proud about the way we played the game.
And there are just a handful of them still around, but none of those guys are not proud of what they did at Abilene High. They are extra proud, and just great guys. And I run across some of them every now and then. A friend of ours that passed away this last year was in Abilene High in that era. He played for Coach Blackman. And you knew George Nichols.
Oh, yeah.
And George loved to tell the story about when the Eagle baseball team would be on a roll. Sometimes Coach Blackburn would look at him and go, okay, it's your turn, lefty. So I guess we probably need to get ready for the second half of this game. Tell us what your observations are.
Well, it did take, I heard you guys a little bit in the first quarter. It took us a little bit to settle in, but it doesn't take anybody very smart to realize that you get the ball in the hands of number one, you got a chance to do something special. So I think I'd get it to him as much as I could, because that kid can go. There's no question about it. And reminds me of a quarterback I had by the name of Ronell Sims. Anytime he touched it.
Pretty good quarterbacks named Potts and Goodman, and you even had that Warren kid who was pretty good too. But sometimes your offense wakes up after they see the defense is going to score first.
Yeah, and that
was a game changer.
There's no doubt. I think that did. And then obviously the punt return, which was well blocked. I mean, the kid had a wall out there in front of him. They obviously did a good job of coaching that up during the week and the past few weeks, I guess, getting that ready. But number one's a special player, so it'll be fun to keep up with him and watch him the rest of the season.
All right, Steve, we go into the first week of the playoffs down the road. I'd love for you to be our guest again, please.
Look forward to it every time,
All
Chuck.
right.
It's always a lot of fun. Thanks for having me.
Teams are coming out of the locker room, and we're getting ready for the second half. We just want to say once again, Ivy Property Management, offering rental housing and top-tier customer service, a family business with family values and a belief that people are just as important as properties. Move up to Ivy Property Management, putting people in their place for over 50 years. Abilene High 28, the Snatchlow Central Bobcats 7. We'll be back with the second half here on AISD Live.
Hey, Abilene ISD community. Want to catch...
The Abilene High Eagle Band is under the direction of drum major Christy Cooper, Postgame Faustino, and Catherine Frank. The directors for the Eagle Band are Mrs. Cindy Moore, Miss Helena Stewart, and Mrs. Green. The Eagle Band color guard is directed by Miss Paula Fitz. This week's sponsors for the Eagle Band are Customer Insurance, St. Paul Road, Abilene Record Service, CJ City, and Dr. Taylor and
Before he fumbled, recovered by Jaden Starks, who ran 44 yards, or actually ran 56 yards for the touchdown to give Abilene High a 7-7. It was 7-7 at that point, with 2:49 left in the first quarter. In the second quarter, Caleb Holder punted 38 yards to the Snatchlow 49. Braden Henry returned it 49 yards for a touchdown with 7:54 left. In the second quarter, Caden Camp's extra point was good to give Abilene High a 14-7 lead. With 2:24 left in the first half, Ethan Joyner rushed 20 yards for the touchdown, and the extra point by Caden Camp was good to give Abilene High the 21-7 lead. And with no time left on the clock, Braden Henry rushed for 81 yards for the touchdown, and Caden Camp's extra point was good to give Abilene High their 28-7 lead. Henry at the half has 6 rushes for 102 yards. He's averaging 17 yards a carry and 1 touchdown. Ethan Joyner has 7 rushes for 57 yards, and he's averaging 8 yards per attempt. So Abilene High has definitely dominated the first half, and I've got some scores around the district while the teams are coming back on the field. From District 2-5A, Hereford beat Lubbock last night 42-35, and Amarillo Tascosa beat the Amarillo Paladura Dons 10-0. In the second quarter, actually, we can update this. Do some updated scores here. Halftime, Amarillo High Sandys lead Odessa 41-12. Dumas leads Amarillo Caprock 35-0. Choctaw, Oklahoma leads the Monterey Plainsmen 16-9. And the Lubbock Coronado Mustangs are leading the Wichita Falls Legacy Leopards 14-10. And in the third quarter, Abilene Cooper's leading Azle 29-13. And Chuck, a great first half, especially the second quarter for Abilene.
Yes, it was. The teams around the field were just about ready for the second half kickoff. Great job, Greg. Glad to have you with us. But we want to also thank you for our halftime show sponsor, Ivy Property Management, offering rental housing and top-tier customer service. A family business with family values and a belief that people are just as important as properties. Move up to Ivy Property Management, putting people in their place for over 50 years. As we get ready to start the third 12-minute quarter in regulation in this season opener, the Eagles from Abilene High lead 28-7. Abilene High won the kickoff and deferred to the second half. The Bobcats kicked off to the Eagles, and so now Abilene High will kick off to start the second half of our game here on AISD Live, and we're just excited about this. Go get your Mr. Pibb. This is great. Can you tell we're a family broadcast, folks? I like working with Greg. I've known him for, well over 20 years, and finally we get a chance to work together after all these years. It was kind of like last year. I had an opening in our schedule, and I had the chance to work with Rick Kaysen. I've known him 30 years, and it was just kind of like watching a game with one of your best friends, and that's what tonight's turning out to as well.
Yes, sir, Chuck, and it's a pleasure to work with you, and San Angelo Central's getting ready to kick off. Chuck, what would you like to see in the second half that you didn't see in the first half from Abilene?
Well, I'd like to see the Eagles correct some mistakes. They did make some. They turned the ball over, but I'd like to see a consistent game plan as being a little more faceted, but it's early in the season and you don't need to show all your cards. Here's the kickoff. It's going to be fielded by Rangel at the 25. He's trying to go across the field, and he'll be stopped at the 26-yard line. So Abilene High gets the football, 1st and 10 from their own 26, 11:55 here in the third quarter, and thanks for tuning in to AISD. Caught you in mid-swig. That's happened to me a whole lot. So, I did 6 years of football for McMurray with Gary Strickland as my partner, and Strick couldn't wait until I turned the Dr. Pepper up so he could go, well, Chuck, what'd you think of that? So, I guess that's payback for all those years I had to work with Strick.
Well, one thing I've already learned in the first half, you got to keep your throat, you got to drink water or something to keep you
Well, the Eagles have a first down at their own 26. Looks like Tristan Beal is going to be the quarterback in the shotgun. Bobcats showing blitz. Braden Henry goes in motion to the left. That's the wide side of the field. Here's the pass to Rangel. Catches at the 25, gets over the 30 to about the 31-yard line. So Eagles come out. First play of the second half, they're slinging the ball.
Yes, they are, and I like what they did. They used Henry as a decoy. All the Bobcats were focused on number 1, and number 10 almost broke it, Chuck. He got out to the left side and almost broke it.
Second down and 4 coming up. The football is on the 32-yard line on the Abilene High half the field. Eagles moving right to left, pass out in the flat again. Rangel with the catch. He's over the 35, over the 40, gets an Eagle first down to the 43-yard line.
Nice play. That was number 19. That's a Boso. We've called his name a lot tonight. Bosa almost broke that one for a long game, possibly a touchdown. And Abilene High on the move here in the second half.
So it is first down. I see number 19, and I think one of the guys that's coaching out in Levelland right now, La Leon.
That's right. One of the greats from Abilene High.
On first down coming up, you still have Beal in at quarterback, pair of receivers to the left, to the right, football on the right hash mark. Taking his time. Beal takes a snap, two-step drop back, moving, looking, finds somebody across the middle of the field and just throws inches behind him.
Just missed it, Chuck. It was close. He just missed the pass. And they're using number 10, Rangel, a lot here in the third quarter to start the second half. But it's going to be second down and 10 at Abilene High's 43.
Kind of like what they used Perez last year when everybody was given triple coverage. Then they'd just go to Perez, and he'd be always open out in the flat. So that was a good thing for the Eagles. Second down and 10. He completed pass, stopped the third quarter clock at 10:39. And a penalty flag comes out of the back pocket of the referee. And it looks like it may be some kind of procedure call.
Maybe a false start on Abilene High. They might have jumped a little early. Yep, it is a false start. You see the offensive lineman doing the push-ups. So that's, I guess, the offensive line. If they jump and get a penalty, they give you 5 quick push-ups. Could you do 5 push-ups like that real quick?
Man, I couldn't do 5 push-ups when I was a player. So it's second down and 15 now for the Eagles. The ball scooted back to the 38-yard line. And the Eagles right now in the huddle. Tristan Beal, the quarterback for Abilene High. He's a junior. He came in last year, the second half of the season, and became a team leader. And he's picking up where he left off. Beal takes a snap and hands up right across the middle, moving the football from the 38 to about the 43-yard line. That's a good pickup of yardage.
And that's Ethan Joyner getting it right back to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be 3rd and 9 at the 44 of Abilene High. Abilene High would like to get an opening drive and go down and score here and take a commanding lead. They're leading 28-7. They'd really like to go up by 5 scores.
Aaron Brown checks in a wide receiver to the right, 3 receivers to the left of Beal. Long count. And he's going to take the snap, 2-step drop back now. He's going to run 45-50, first down as he crosses the 45 on the Bobcat, half of the field.
Great job by Bill looking at the coverage downfield. The opening came to the right side, and he showed his little speed as well. He's got great speed as well as he took off to the right to get the first down for Abilene High with 9:51 left here in the third quarter.
It is a first down for the Eagles, and that is their 7th first down of the game. Beal in the shotgun again. And he's going to step up to center, change his play at the line with an audible. Joyner lines up to his left. Once again, trips to the left. And Beal options. This is Joyner. He breaks a tackle, keeps going, gets over the 45 to about the 44, gets a yard or 2. But the Bobcats had to just almost surround him to stop him.
Joyner is so quick, and he's another weapon that Mike Fullman has at his disposal for the Eagles. But I like the toughness of Joyner that he showed right then, taking the hit and getting an extra yard or 2, Chuck.
Stephen Wright along with Jeremiah Collins are split to the right as Beal, once again the shotgun. You got Rangel and Aboso split to the left. Tight end to the right for Abilene High. Here's the snap. Look, flip it out in the middle, and this is Aboso. Majul makes the catch, gets over the 40 to about the 39. That's going to bring up 3rd and short for Abilene High. And right now, in this drive, the Eagles are acting like that they want to play possession ball and just eat the clock, and they've got a 21-point lead.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Boso, if he wasn't tripped up, that was 6. He was on his way to the house, and he's got tremendous speed as well. But Abilene High having a nice opening drive here to start the second half with 8:32. The clock is running, and now it's 3rd and 4 for the Eagles.
From the 39-yard line, and And now you got Braden Henry in the game at quarterback. He's going to go over the 35, the 30, break even at the 20. Sprint from the 5 into the end zone for an Abilene Eagle touchdown. Wow.
I mean, Chuck, that's all I can say on that play is, wow. Henry looked like he was bottled up at the line of scrimmage, and then he just shot out like a cannon out of the middle for the touchdown. Look at the replay here. They had number 66 for Central had him. They had him wrapped up there, and he just shows his tremendous speed. And Braden Henry goes untouched in for the touchdown, and the Eagles are taking a commanding lead here in the third quarter.
8:14 here in the third. Here comes the point after kick. It is up, and it is good. Our new score, 8:14 third quarter. Eagles of Abilene High 35. The Bobcats of San Angelo Central 7. We'll be back with more on AISD Live.
The Big Country Athletic Hall of Fame is a nonprofit organization dedicated to the preservation of sports history, highlighting the spectacular achievements of the greatest athletes with ties to the Big Country. Come by and celebrate as we salute and honor the lives of those that gave us great joy as they inspired others and promoted the human spirit. The Big Country Athletic Hall of Fame is located in the Mall of Abilene, and admission is free.
Hurry to Lawrence Hall Abilene today. Visit us online 24/7 at lawrencehallabileneonline.com. Why go anywhere else?
Going to put a boomer up. Nope, he's going with a pooch kick. It bounces at the 25. Bobcats are going to get it. Is the ball loose? Let's see who they get possession to on the other side of the field.
Chuck, San Angelo Central got lucky there. Abilene High had a chance at that football, and they just barely missed from getting it. So if you're Mark Smith, Chuck, and the Bobcats, you're down 35-7. What do you do here in the third quarter to try to get back on this guy?
Well, right now you're trailing by 4 touchdowns. You got to put in the air. You know, that's your quick score. And let's see if at halftime the Bobcats were able to find a wrinkle in pass coverage for Abilene High. Here we go. 1st and 10 from the 24. Bobcat quarterback is Micah Smith. He's in the shotgun, sends a man in motion to the right. That means there's going to be 3 on that side. And here's a screen caught at the 23. Eagles are going to chase him down to 25. He spins, breaks the tackle, gets to the 26. And the receiver catching that ball is Jimmy Edwards.
Edwards caught the ball, and then, of course, Abilene High is just flying to the football like they have been all night long, and caused it for just a little short gain of 2 yards there, and it's second down.
From the 26, dive play, the big fullback, Johnson gets it. He tries to go behind left tackle, moves it out to the 28-yard line. Just a couple of steps on the gain. That's going to bring up 3rd down and 6. Now you're in a 3rd and long. You're trailing by 4. You got to air it out.
Yes, you do. You got to air it out down by 28 and 3rd and 6. I'd like to see what kind of arm Micah Smith has. We've seen him overthrow a couple of passes, but I'd like to see him go deep. And, you know, they said San Angelo's best player was their wide receiver, Chuck.
Let's see if that comes to fruition on this 3rd down coming up. Now, the umpire is out over the ball, and there's an infraction on the field. They're going to mark 5 yards off against Central. Move the football to the 23-yard line. That's going to bring up 3rd and 11 at 7:05 here on the third quarter clock. We are in the third 12-minute quarter in this game. Right now, the officials are having a discussion, and the referee is telling everyone what the 5-yard infraction was. Micah Smith in the shotgun. 3 receivers wide side of the field to his left. Abilene Eagles in that 3-4 defense. And right now, The referee is saying get the clock back in sequence, start it rolling, and timeout is called by the officials.
He wanted the clock set at 7:14, and it was at 7:05, so they reset it to 7:14.
So here on 3rd and 11, Smith throws across, and it's going to be caught just beyond the 25. Move the football to the 27-yard line. That still brings up 4th and long, and the Bobcats are going to have to call in their punter. That will be Caleb Holbert. Back deep to receive the punt for Abilene High is going to be Braden Henry. What did I say? Braden Henry is back at the Eagle 40-yard line. Holbert ready to take the snap and gets a right foot underneath it. It'll almost be a line drive. It'll bounce at the 40 and roll down to the 31, and that's where it's going to run out of gas.
Good punt by San Angelo Central, and Abilene High is going to get their second offensive possession of the second half. 6:26 left here in the third quarter. Eagles up 35-7.
And kind of impressive what Cooper's done against a team from Hazel that was predicted to be pretty good. So good for Aaron Rohn and the Southside kids.
Yeah, let me check the score on that Cooper game and see where they are over there.
Tristan Bill's going to come back in and run the offense for Abilene High. In the backfield behind him is going to be Ethan Joyner. And now Bill is going to line up in the slot to the right. Braden Henry's going to get ready to take the snap. And now you've got people moving around. And everyone lined up to the right comes back to the wide side of the field for Abilene High. Henry taking the snap. He's going to go right up the middle, 30-35, still moving over the 40, and about a 9-yard gain. Not enough for a first down, but that was a good chunk of turf for Abilene High. Now Tristan Bill's going to come back into the game for Abilene High. With Elijah Wood, he'll line up a tight end.
Henry is so fast, Chuck. He just hits the hole so fast, and just a quick 9 yards for a 2nd and 1. With a minute left in the third quarter, Cooper leads Hazel 36-13.
So our score, Abilene High 35, San Angelo Central 7. It's 2nd down and 1 from the Eagle 41. Bill in the shotgun. Looks like the Bobcats going to try an outside blitz. And in fact,
delay a game on Abilene High, Chuck.
Bill just stretched out the cadence, hoping on that 1-yard play that get the Bobcats to jump offside. That's the 3rd time Abilene High's tried that, and the Bobcats haven't jumped yet.
Coach Fullen doesn't look happy about that down there, Chuck. He doesn't look happy at all about that delay a game.
Well, when we get ready to tape his show in the pregame next Thursday, I'm not going to ask him.
No.
Let's call it 2nd and 6 from the 35. And the Eagles going outside. This is going to be Ethan Joyner. He turned the corner at the right, went over the 40, and finally pushed out of bounds at the 45. That will be another Eagle first down.
We have a flag, and he picked it up. We might have a block in the back on the Eagles. He's dropped it at the 45-yard line. We've got a block in the back or a hold. Let's see what we got here. It's going to be against Abilene High.
And right now, it looks like the back judge is the one that tossed the flag down on the turf. And the umpires got it.
It's going to be holding on number 10, John Rangel, Chuck.
You know, the late, great Curly Hayes used to tell me after he flagged me, and he'd go, you know, Chuck's only holding if I catch him. 2nd and 5 coming up for the Eagles. And Braden Henry is now going to come in at quarterback. Pair of receivers to the left, to the right from the far hash mark for Abilene High. Henry long count. The senior quarterback takes the snap, throws it out in the flat. Receiver nearly upended. He's going to move down the sideline, and he might have enough for a first down, Greg. Let's see where they mark him out of bounds.
Good effort by Boso there. He's going to be close. They're going to mark him probably about, looks like 3 yards short, 2 yards short. It's going to be a long 3rd and 2 for Abilene High.
So the Eagles starting to move people in. Aiden Usry is now coming in as an extra tight end to block on this 3rd and short from the 39. Third quarter clock stopped when Boso stepped out of bounds. So we're at the 4:38 mark here in the 3rd. Henry, long count, looking to the sideline, and timeout is called by the Eagle coaching staff. That'll be their first timeout here in the second half. While there's a timeout on the field, 4:38, Eagles leading 35-7. Let's take the timeout with them on AISD Live.
Hey Abilene ISD community, want to catch all the action from Abilene High and Cooper High School games? It's easy. In addition to Facebook and Vimeo, we're now on YouTube. Just head on over to our YouTube channel by searching Abilene ISD and click subscribe so you never miss a live stream. Whether you're cheering from home or on the go, we're bringing the game to you. So join our online cheering section and stay connected with every play. Hit subscribe and get ready to show your school spirit today.
Like cameras, sound mixers, lights, and more. Let your creativity shine. Start your journey in digital media with AIS.
Greg Douglas.
4:38 in the 3rd. The Eagles are looking at a 3rd and 2 in the home opener at Shotwell Stadium for the 25 season. On 3rd down, Braden Henry in the shotgun. He's going to give the ball. Joyner goes behind his right guard and tackle, moves the ball about a half a yard. That's going to bring up 4th down. So now Abilene High is looking at a situation. You lead 28 points, and you're at a 4th and a couple of yards, and you're not quite at midfield. Do you send in the punter or do you send in the punter?
You send in the punter.
There you go. And so Abilene High will send in the punter, and that punter is going to be Easton Pittman. He's been handling the kickoffs, but he'll be in to do the punting now. Single safety back at the 25 for the Bobcats. And here's a snap, and Pittman's got a nice line drive punt, lands at the 35, takes an eagle roll inside the 30, and it will stop at the 21-yard line. So Abilene High's drive sputters out, but they give the ball to the Bobcats in pretty decent field position on their end of the field.
Yes, and I like the call by Mike Fullen. You could have went forward there, but you don't want to give San Angelo any momentum because you have all the momentum right now, leading 35-7. So a good call by Coach Fullen to punt the football.
So the Eagles will let the Bobcats have possession at their own 21. We're at 3:43 here in the 3rd. Abilene High 35, Central 7. Micah Smith, the quarterback, sends his H-back in motion, and the backfield judge tosses the flag into the air.
Umpire must have saw movement on the center, maybe moved the ball. It's a false start on Abilene High. It's going to be, San Angelo Central. It's going back about 5 yards. It's going to be 1st and 15 from their own 16-yard line. And that's what you don't want to do if you're Central, is go backwards.
Well, no, you don't want to bring a shovel into your huddle and dig the hole deeper.
Right.
So it is 1st and 15 from the 16. Smith gives up the middle. His running back powers behind his left guard, gets over the 20, gets some yards back to the 25. Still, they need to get to the 32 to get another first down, but that's 2nd and about 6 makes it a little easier to breathe.
That's number 22, Darius Hewitt. First time I've seen him in the ball game tonight for the Bobcats.
He's their number 3 back, but he's now getting some action. They're going to give up the middle. The Eagles are just going to storm the line and stuff the hole, and it's going to be a loss on the runner for Central, and that's going to bring up 3rd down. Oh my goodness, James Starks, did you see how quick he filled that hole?
Starks and Koontz, number 28, both just were in the backfield before Hewitt could even get to the line of scrimmage. So the black shirts are still swarming late here in the 3rd quarter.
3rd and 6 coming up. Smith sends his tight end in motion to the left and then drops back. Flare pass out in the flat. Receiver makes the catch, gets over the 30, gets enough for the first down. Making the catch for the Bobcats was Kastner Stribling.
Stribling with a catch, and good play by Jeremiah Collins, because if Jeremiah Collins doesn't make that tackle, Chuck, he's gone for 6.
So it is a first down. Bobcats at their own 32. They're not giving up. Now they're giving up the middle, and the running back is going to be stopped, and that is, once again, Hewitt, as he might have lost a step on that carry.
Yeah. I'm curious if Xavion Johnson, the starter, is hurt, or is he just holding him out because of the score check? I don't know. I haven't seen him since the halftime.
Judd Williamson now comes into the game for Abilene High. A lot of clean shirts getting some action. Smith lines up 3 to the wide side of the field, looks, and he's going to try to throw it downfield, but wasn't nobody there.
Again, the same thing happened in the first half, just some missing communication between Micah Smith and his receiver, number 11. That's Gavin Johnson. I don't know what happened there, Chuck. The receiver just stopped, and the ball was way over his head.
So that incompleted pass stops the clock at 1:36 here in the third. It'll be 3rd and 11 for the Bobcats of Central. I formation, actually shotgun formation. Smith, pair of receivers to the right, nobody to the left. They're going to pitch outside. Eagles smell that one out quick, and everybody just slides down the line for containment and makes the tackle.
Number 24 for Abilene High. That's going to be Amani Strahan. Just he was in the backfield for Hewitt. He got turned his head to the left.
And so that brings up another 4th down for the Bobcats. Brayden Henry's going to be the single safety back for Abilene High at the Eagle 35-yard line. Holbert will be the kicker for the Bobcats. Clock moving at 56 seconds. And Holbert gets a right foot underneath it. It goes like a nubber off of his foot. It's going to bounce in front of the Eagle bench out of play. So Abilene High gets the ball back in great field position. 47 seconds left in the third.
If you're San Angelo Central, that's the last thing you wanted to happen, was have a kick go off the side of your foot. But again, great field position for the Eagles at midfield. And they're going to try to add to their lead with 47 seconds left here in the third quarter. Eagles up 35-7.
And right now we're going to see where football is going to be spotted. They're saying at the 50, near hash mark. And the Eagle offense, led by Tristan Beal, comes onto the field. You'll have a couple of receivers to the left. And right now, Beal sends a runner in motion. That's Josh Castillo. He'll go out wide to the right. And Bill on the end around gives the ball, and it's not going to go anywhere but back as they tried the reverse. And Greg, that just didn't work with Majula Boso. They've tried that a couple of times, had a little bit of success, but it could have been blocked better.
Oh, yeah. San Angelo read it all the way. They were right in the backfield. As soon as he was returned from the field, they made good play on the Boso. But Abilene High now has a 2nd and 15 from their own 45.
Aiden Ushery comes back in at tight end right now. Eagles looking at the 2nd and 15. And Brayden Henry back in, hands the ball off. Castillo gets stopped. That'll bring up 3rd down. And that ends the third quarter of play. We played 3 complete here at Shotwell tonight, and our score, Abilene High 35, the Bobcats 7. We'll be back with more on AISD Live. athletics. Well, let's start the fourth quarter play here at Shotwell Stadium on the opener for the 2025 season. Abilene High leading 35-7. As we go back to action, it'll be 3rd and 16 for the Eagles from their own 44-yard line. Tristan Beal is the quarterback for Abilene High. He's got 3 receivers split to the right. He's going to throw it out in the flat. Majula Boso with the catch, 45-50 to the 45 of the Bobcats. And Greg, that's another Abilene Eagle first down.
Close to a first down, Chuck. He's a little bit short.
Okay.
They were 3rd and 16, but it's going to be a 4th and 4. So a manageable 4th down here on Central's part of the field. I'd go for it here.
That's what I get for watching the linesman instead of the head linesman. So it is 4th down, 4, and the football is on the Bobcat half of the field at their 44. And it looks like the Bobcats showing blitz. Bill looking, getting some pressure, rolling to the right, throwing downfield, and will overthrow his receiver at the 20. Going for it on 4th. Just didn't pay off for Abilene High, but it's going to be okay because they still have a 28-point lead here in the 4th.
Bill just got kind of rushed out of his comfort zone, rushed out of the pocket, and just overthrew Bosa, he was actually wide open, but he just overthrew him. But like you said, you go for it there, you're up 28, you have nothing to lose. And now Abilene High black shirts will take over as Central tries to get something going here with 11:48 left in the game.
Judge Williamson is in the game now for Abilene High. He'll be playing outside linebacker. And also checking into the game is Trey Shaw. He'll be checking back in. Here's the pass, and that one goes from Smith. It's caught by Collins. He catches it at the 47, gets it across the 50, and they're on the Eagle half of the field, and the clock keeps moving at 11:33. One thing we also want to keep our eye on is if the Bobcats want to try to mount a comeback, they have 3 timeouts left. Abilene High still has 2 here in the second half.
Scores from around the district. Amarillo High leads Odessa. Started the 4th quarter 55-12. Dumas leading Amarillo Caprock 48-0. Started the 4th.
Smith on 2nd down, runs it. He shakes to the left, and he's going to go from the 30, the 20 to the 10, and the Bobcats have their 2nd touchdown of the evening.
This is what Coach Smith said before the game, that he would like to see his son run. And boy, Michael Smith has turned the corner there, Chuck, and he found the opening. There was nobody in front of him, and he showed the speed he has as he goes in for the Central touchdown.
11:01 left in the 4th quarter, and now the extra point try for the Central Bobcats as their kicker, Caleb Holbert, ready to try the extra point out of the Micah Smith hold. Here's the snap, here's the kick. The north uprights is the target, and it is good. Our new score, Abilene High 35, St. Angelo Central 14. We'll be back with more on AISD Live.
I love playing sports, especially for my school. And that's because school sports are special. It's where
Parents, we tend to react most when our kids misbehave. But did you know praising your kids 4 times for every time you correct them can transform their behavior and your relationship? And with these colorful praiselets from Boys Town, the 4-to-1 rule is a breeze. Visit parenting.org/praise to see how it works. Request your own free praiselets and explore other great ways to teach love with praise. Because every kid deserves to hear they're doing great.
Cowboy games, ticket packages, tailgates, and all-inclusive events, and they work well with AISD. Give the VIP Sports Getaway a call at 676-1199. And Central kicks off to Abilene High. It's going to be a catch at the 27, no return. And so the Eagles now have their lead shrunk to 21 points, and we're still have plenty of time in the fourth quarter. So let's see what Abilene High does to see if they can add a little more insurance to that lead. And by the way, speaking of insurance, thank you to Blake Williams, State Farm Insurance, for sponsoring our pregame show. He took this sponsorship at the last minute, and we hope that he's very comfortable holding that sponsorship. So let's get ready to go back to action from the 27-yard line. And we're looking at the Eagle offense. A couple of receivers out wide left. Tristan Bill, the quarterback. Lining up behind him at running back is going to be Josh Castillo. Long count by Tristan. And he takes a snap. Gives Castillo. Big hole to the right. He's over the 35 to the 40. Hit, spins. Still going out to the 41. That's an Eagle first down.
Great job by Josh Castillo. Just following his blockers. Got out to the right, and it's a huge game for Abilene. This is what you want to do for your Eagles, Chuck. You don't want to let up on the momentum. You've got to go down here and score and just keep putting the game away.
But you want to do it with respect to the fact that you're going to play these guys again next year or someplace like that. You know, one of the game sponsors in Black and Decker, so you don't want to drill them. It is a first down for Abilene High from their own 42. Clock moving at 10:22. Bill, once again in the shotgun, takes the snap. And no, this is Braden Henry. Flips out to the left. Penalty flag thrown as the receiver slides down. Was it a catch?
It's close, Chuck. I don't know. We may have a hold here, or I don't know what we got. It's either a hold or blocking the back. It's a hold. Maybe a face mask.
Well, this is still early in the season, and you're going to have guys do things that they wouldn't be doing in like week 3. So penalty yardage will be marked off against the Eagles.
Holding on the Eagles.
So they'll move it from the 42 to about the 32, 10-yard penalty, and it'll be 1st and 20 for Abilene High. That's not my phone ringing. Mine, about this time of night, whenever it rings, it's the reminder it's bedtime. It's after 9 o'clock. So it will be 1st and 20. And the ball on the 32-yard line on the Eagle half of the field. Henry back in. Now he's going to carry it to the right, go behind his right guard, move to the 36. He's going to be hit, knocked backwards to nearly the 40-yard line. It's a good gain by the Eagles, and that's going to bring up 2nd and about 13 for Abilene High.
He got 7 of the 10 yards back off the holding penalty to bring up a 2nd and 13 for the Eagles at their own 39.
So right now, players shuffling into the game. Jeremiah Collins back in at slot to the left. So a pair of receivers to the left, to the right. And right now, the Bobcats shuffling players also. 35-14. Eagles leading. And Braden throwing the ball down deep and just about 2 fingertips away from being caught by Boso. That was a beautiful arching pass. It just, Boso's fingers need to be about an inch longer.
Chuck, that's the 2nd time that Boso's been wide open and had just barely missed him again.
So the incompleted pass stops the 4th quarter clock at 8:54. But you're right, that is the 2nd time. And that was just about as good as a gimme putt, but he missed about an inch. So we will see what Abilene High does now in this 3rd and long. As Henry throws, he's got a man across the middle. Here's the catch at the 45, over the 50, over the 40 for an Eagle first down in Bobcat territory.
Great catch and run by number 16, Josh Castillo. And a big gain there for Abilene High as they move into Central Territory at the 37, 1st and 10 for the Eagles.
Oh, he was more wide open right in the middle of the field, and Castillo wrapped it up with both arms to make sure he wasn't going to fumble that one too. So the Eagles come up and they'll have a first down on the Bobcat half of the field. Going out wide to the left is Elijah Wood along with Aaron Brown. And on first down, Castillo gets the ball, goes behind his left guard, moves the football to about the 35-yard line.
Nice little run there. 2 or 3 yard gains. It's going to be 2nd and 8. Abilene High just moving the ball and trying to run some clock out too, Trey.
And they're doing it right now. Clock now under 8 minutes at 7:55 as the Eagles right now just trying to maintain a consistent drive, keep moving the ball. You know, years ago, I was listening to a radio station. I was driving down to Austin and drove through Lampasas. They'd hired a new football coach, and his radio interview is, "We want to play time possession football." And the announcer said, "What do you mean?" He said, "You hold on to the rock, then you own the clock." And that's what the Eagles are trying to do right now. And there is a timeout on the field at 7:30. Let's take the timeout with them here on AISD Live.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
We've got 7 minutes, 30 seconds left in regulation in the season opener. Abilene High hosting the Bobcats of San Angelo Central. Eagles lead 35-14. Abilene High has a 2nd down and 8 from the 35 of the Bobcats. Man goes in motion to the left. Braden Henry gets pressure. He's going to get away from a rusher. Now he's going to cut across the grain at the 30, 25, and he'll slide down on his rump at about the 23-yard line.
Great run for Henry again, and just following his blockers, and he's got great downfield vision. He just looks like he's not even running, Chuck. Looks like he's just jogging. Just making people miss and just finding the holes and just gaining yards as he runs. Great run by Henry. And Abilene High with the first down at the Central 24 with 7:04 clock is running here in the fourth quarter.
And so the Eagles do have the first down, and the clock is now under 7 minutes. Abilene High going to spread out the receivers to the left, to the right. Braden Henry, the quarterback, now sends a man in motion to the left. Now on a cross, he's going to give up the middle. Castillo will go from the 25 over the 20 and near the 12-yard line. Good move. Clock keeps running. That's what the Eagles want to do, is just control and be conservative at the same time.
I like the Josh Castillo coming in, giving a Joyner Castillo a good 1-2 punch in the backfield for the Eagles. Nice gain on the play, and it's going to be 2nd and 3 from the 17 for Abilene.
And right now, Henry brings the play in from the sideline. Rangel will split out to the left for Abilene High. As also out left with him is going to be Aaron Brown. Henry gets the ball. He's going to go right up the middle, following Castillo's block. Now he's going to reverse his field goal from the 15 down to the 10. Eagles get another first down and keep the clock moving, and they'll start it back moving after they spot the football. This is going to be first and goal inside the 10 to the 9 for Abilene High.
As you can see on the replay, Braden Henry just stopped on the dime and then kept going to get the first down. So first and goal for the Eagles at the Central 9.
And he does that with finesse. He doesn't Norm Bulash just try to bounce around like a pinball. He just actually does it with finesse.
Yes.
So Henry split out to the right this time. Bill now takes the snap. Henry goes to the left. They're going to hand off Castillo. He's at the 5, hit at the 1, and into the end zone for an Abilene Eagle touchdown.
Great run by Castillo. Just wasn't going to be denied getting in the end zone. Took the hit at about the 5, as you'll see on the replay. took the hit and just kept his head forward, shoulders down, and went into the end zone for the touchdown. And now Abilene High has a commanding lead, Chuck, in the fourth quarter with the extra point.
And here comes the extra point try for Abilene High, 41-14. It looks like the two numbers are looking at a mirror, but the Eagles do have that lead. And here comes the point after try. Pittman to kick, and it will go through the uprights and good. Our new score, Abilene High, 42, and the Bobcats, 14. Tell you what, we just need to once again say thanks to VIP Sports Getaway for being a proud sponsor of Abilene High. They offer Dallas Cowboy games, ticket packages, tailgates, and all-inclusive events. They work with AISD to move teams, bands, spirits, squads, and fans. Call VIP Tours today, 676-1199. That's 676-1199, and let them treat you like a VIP.
We sure appreciate all our new sponsors for AISD Live Athletics. We sure appreciate everybody sponsoring this year for the new season. And Chuck, it's started off the way we thought it might. It's gone good for the Eagles so far.
Well, it started off like we were hoping it was, but then we knew Central was going to be better than they were last year. Right now, our score 42-14 with 5:14 left. And once again, thanks to one of our premier sponsors throughout the season, and that is Great Lakes Cheese. They are proud to support our local high school sports. Great Lakes Cheese, not just a company, they're an employee-owned family. Eagles have it teed up at the 40-yard line, and thank you, Great Lakes Cheese. You're a good neighbor here at Shotwell Stadium. Here's the kick, and it's a pooch. It will go out of bounds at the 25. So penalty flag. Will they come back and spot it at the 25? Do they spot it at the 30 these days, Greg? I got all confused with the 2-minute warning earlier.
I think they're going to spot it at the 30. It's going to be first down at the 30.
So the umpire will bring the ball to the 30, and that's where he will spot it, and he's going to spot it at the near hash mark. That's the left side for the Bobcats. 5:14 here in the fourth. Abilene High leading 42-14. And right now you've got Smith looks, throws out in the flat. His tight end has a catch at the 30. He's upended at the 35. Good defensive play for Abilene High. Making the tackle for the Eagles is Jeremiah Collins.
Good play by Collins. Bobcats get 5 yards on the first down to make it 2nd and 5. And the Eagles are just trying to keep that clock running. And Central trying to score 2nd and 5 for the Bobcats.
That's the second catch for Kastner. Dribbling pass out in the left flat. Caught, and the receiver gets about 2 yards gain, and that's where he's going to be stopped over there. Making the tackle for the Eagles was Judd Williamson. Making the reception for the Bobcats was Gabriel Garcia. That'll bring up 3rd down and 4 for the Bobcats at the 37-yard line. Clock moving at 4:27. Eagles leading 42-14. Triples to the left for the Bobcats. Single receiver, and that's Garcia to the left. As right now, Smith, long count, fakes the handoff after he gets the shotgun snap. He's going for broke, and it's in and out of the hands of Gabriel Garcia. Good coverage by Abilene High. Stride for stride by the cornerback.
Yeah. Number one for the Bobcats is Gabriel Garcia, and he just was covered like a blanket, stride for stride. Abilene High covered him, and Central now with a 4th down, and it looks like they're going to be punting the ball away to Abilene High.
And Malik Cooper for Abilene High, the coverage from the corner, staying stride for stride with the real swift Garcia. On 4th down, punt team comes in. Bobcats punt it towards the north, and it's going to bounce at the 35. Take a Bobcat roll inside the 20, and that's where it'll bounce out of bounds. Here at 3:57 here in the fourth. Once again, Eagles leading 42-14.
Good punt by the Bobcats. Now Abilene High, 1st and 10, they're on 20. And if you're Abilene High, Chuck, you just want to run the clock out. I mean, try to be methodical, but you want to run the clock out. Game's well in hand. You just like to get out of here with no injuries and run out the clock.
As the officials spot the football, they will do so at the Eagle. Well, they're trying to put it down at the 29, but the ball should go near the 20. And this is the first game of the season for the officials as well.
Yes.
And finally, the umpire will spot it at the near hash mark on the 20. Once again, we want to say thank you to Randy Ivy with Ivy Property Management. They just put people in their place, and they've done so for 50 years. And we sure are glad that you're one of our game sponsors. It is first down. Eagles at their own 20 near hash mark as Bill, the quarterback, and he's going to hand off, and his running back is going to be smothered. That's Castillo.
Yeah, Castillo just got hit in the backfield that time. Couldn't get any momentum going. San Angelo just smothering defense got through there. But Abilene High, like I said, I think they're just trying to run the clock out, so leading 42-14.
And the football will be spotted back at the 17. That'll bring up second down and 13. We're under the 3:30 mark here in the fourth period. And remember, they will stop for a 2-minute warning in the second and the fourth quarter. We are in the fourth quarter, so that's the excitement we can look forward to is the 2-minute warning. I'm being facetious, folks. As Bill gets a low snap, picks it up, hands it off, and Castillo, one black shirt covered by 6 white ones for the Bobcats. That may be the most people they've had on one tackle all night.
Yes, Chuck, I believe it is, and they're just Abilene High, like I said, just running the football, and San Angelo making a good play, just swarming the line of scrimmage. And it's going to bring up a 3rd and 16 for Abilene High. 2:50 clock's running.
And right now, Eagles are substituting rather freely on different players. Bill trying to get the play sent in from the sideline. 9 seconds left on the play clock. So the Eagles will break their huddle. Henry will be in slot to the left. Oboso out there with him. As Bill now looking, and the clock expires, but the Eagles called the timeout before they're going to be penalized the 5 yards. And Abilene High, if it really matters, is down to only 1 timeout left in the game.
Right. I've got a score with 2-minute timeout in Azle. Cooper leads Azle 43-25. And I've got a final from Wiley. Abilene Wiley beats Brownwood 25-0.
Wow, new head coach of Brownwood, and of course you've got to respect Coach Martin out of Wiley. He just seems to find talent and seems to find a way to get in the playoffs every year.
Scores around the District 2-5A. Abilene High's district. Emerald High's beating Odessa High 55-12 with the 2-minute timeout. Dumas beat Emerald and Caprock 48-0.
Really?
Choctaw, Oklahoma is beating Lubbock Monterey 30-15 in the third quarter. And Wichita Falls Legacy has come from behind and beaten Lubbock Coronado 28-22 with 7:30 left in the fourth quarter.
Of course, these are all non-district games, and you're talking about some of our district opponents.
Yes.
But we are looking at third down. Tristan Beal in the shotgun. 5 receivers out, 3 to the left, 2 to the right. 2:26 left in the fourth. Eagles leading 42-14. Beal throwing long down the left side. He will overthrow a receiver. And right now, you've got to think Braden Henry wants a flag, but there is not one. It was just triple coverage down there.
Good coverage by the Bobcats. I mean, Henry, good play by the defense for San Angelo. Number 28 for the Bobcats. Michael Duran came in there and made a good play on Henry to knock that football down. So 4th down and 16 for Abilene High with 2:20 left.
And it looks like Pittman is going to be punting from the 1-yard line, and he gets a boot. And it's going to land at the 45. Picked up at the 50, and a return of only 4 yards for the Bobcats. A great open field tackle for Abilene High. As you look at Skylar Famoa, this guy just hit him and wrapped him up and didn't let him get another step.
Great down the field kick coverage by Skylar Famoa. We've been calling his name a lot tonight, Chuck, and he made a great play there for Abilene High.
So you've got 2:12 left here in the fourth period. And here come the Bobcats. Their line of scrimmage is the 46 of Abilene High. And you've got Smith, the quarterback. He's throwing out to the left. It's incomplete. And he was trying to dump that off to his running back, Johnson. And so that will stop the clock at 2:08. Bobcats have all of their timeouts left in the fourth.
Abilene High's out of timeouts.
So 2nd down and 10 coming up. Micah Smith, stand corrected. He's going to throw it out in the flat. He's got a receiver who can catch at the 40. Micah's grandfather, Tom Smith, headed up our West Central Texas Council of Governments for 2 decades. What a great public servant. And then, of course, his dad, Mark, is just a fantastic guy. So I see good things for the Central program. And we will now take a timeout for the 2-minute warning, as is a new enhancement to the game as dictated by the UIL. They're just conforming to the NCAA and NFL. Is that wonder where the side of that game is going to be.
It's going to be at the Ford Center at the Star.
Okay. On 3rd down, and you've got Smith trying to run again, and he'll be knocked out of bounds after he crosses over the 15. Actually, the ball carrier was Jimmy Edwards, but still enough on the run to get a 1st down, and he stepped out. That stops the clock at 1:53. Eagles leading 42-14.
You know, San Angelo trying to get a score, but if you're Abilene High, Chuck, you don't want to give up a touchdown here. Your defense has dominated the game for the most part. You don't want to give up a touchdown here if you're Abilene High.
That's true. Let's see what happens on 1st down. 1:53. Smith, hands off, running back, goes behind left guard, gets over the 20, stopped at about the 16. Move the sticks, clock keeps moving at 1:43. Once again, the Bobcats have not taken a timeout here in the 2nd half. They only used 1 in the 1st half. So it is going to be 2nd down and 3 from the 17 on the Eagle half of the field. Smith faking the pitch out. He's going to turn in, carry it himself, get down to the 11-yard line, and the clock will be stopped while they move the sticks. It will be a 1st down for the Bobcats, and clock starts back up at 1:18.
Good spin move by Micah Smith there for San Angelo Central to get the 1st down for the Bobcats.
Smith takes the snap, looks, throws to the left, and he's got a wide open receiver at the 5, and he'll finally be stopped at the 1. Bobcats were signaling for a touchdown, but that might have been wishful thinking because the Eagles were going to deny him the end zone.
And if you're watching the replay, Abilene High almost intercepted this ball. Close right there.
So it will be 1st and goal for the Central Bobcats at the Eagle 1, and 1:02 left in regulation here in the 4th. 42-14 is our score. They're going to give to the running back, and Johnson will barrel in, and now the 3rd touchdown of the evening for the Central Bobcats as our score moves 42-20 with 57 seconds left.
Johnson just followed his blockers right in the end zone for the Central touchdown. And Abilene High now leads 42-20 with 57 seconds left as Central gets ready for the extra point.
And let's see how they've done. They're 2 for 2 on their field goal attempts for the evening. 42-20. Here's the snap. Here's the kick. And the Bobcats see the kick go good, so they've cut the lead in half. It's now 42, Abilene High 21 for Central. We'll be back after this break on AISD.
Hey, future creators, are you ready to dive?
Shotwell Chevrolet kickoff.
Bobcats, their kicker is going to be Caleb Holbert. Back deep for Abilene High is going to be Braden Henry. He's going to be joined back by John Rangel. And they're playing at about the 25, so they may be anticipating, Greg, either a pooch kick. It's not going to be an onside kick, but a pooch kick might be what they're wanting to see happen. And here's the approach on the ball, and it's a squibber up the middle. It'll be covered at the 31 by Rangel. So the Eagles will have the ball, 57 seconds left, and they lead 42-21.
Yeah, Chuck, now if you're Abilene High, Central has all 3 timeouts, but with 57 seconds, you just want to run the clock out and get out of here with your first win of the season. And I've got a final from Hazel. Cooper beats Hazel 49-24.
Congratulations to the Cooper Cougars. We'll see them next here at Shotwell Stadium. And, you know, it's been a tradition all these years for me to be in booth number 1, except for the crosstown rival. I will concede the home booth to Jimmy Pogue, our good friend. But we'll be in booth 2 next Friday night.
Yeah, we'll be staring at each other during the game.
And that's all right. Let's look at first down. Abilene High, they're going to go into the victory formation. Tristan Bill is going to be back to receive the snap. He'll take it, go down on a knee at the 26-yard line. And who invented the victory formation? Tom Landry with the snap to Staubach, and he had everybody surrounding Staubach, and that was how the victory formation, or was originally called the offensive safety, but it wasn't a safety, so they called it the victory formation. And on second down, the snap back to Bill again, and he will go down on a knee, spotted at the 21, 18 seconds on the game clock, 21 seconds on the play clock, and so let's go on ahead and put this one in the books. Abilene High goes to 0-1 on the 25 season, and the Bobcats go to 0-1.
Right.
So they're going to meet in the middle of the field as time expires and shake hands, and that's the way the gentlemen do it after a contest. We're just glad that we can share the best seat in the house with you tonight for this game. Tell you what, we're going to go on ahead and take our final break in our broadcast here on AISD Live. We're going to come back with the Quad C Heating and Cooling Company report, and we'll tell you about what great folks they are. We'll tell you how to call Quad C. Our final, Abilene High 42, Central Bobcats 21. We're back in a minute with the Quad C postgame. Stay cozy in the winter and cool in the summer with Quad C Heating and Cooling. Quad C Heating and Cooling delivers fast service, expert repairs, and full installations. Don't wait. Call Quad C Heating and Cooling today, 325-480-1404. Once again, 325-480-1404. Chuck Statler, Greg Knuckles with you, post-game show. You know, we honestly had some apprehensions coming into this game. Eagles did really well in the first round playoffs last year after they ended up having to settle for a co-championship in the district. They just kicked Honey against an El Paso team, but then the next round was Hazel and the Buzzsaw, and the Eagles didn't end the season on as good a note as they wanted to. So Mike Fullen, being the pro person that he is, pro attitude, has had his guys retool for this year, coming out winning nicely in a comfort zone with a team from San Angelo that is stronger and has rebuilt since last year. I think this is a good victory for the Eagles.
I think it's great, Chuck, because in the first quarter, the first 3 drives for the offense, they kind of sputtered a little bit trying to feel their way into the game. And then that big defensive interception for the touchdown just kind of turned that momentum, and then the offense just seemed to sink and kick in gear in that second quarter, Chuck. And that was the difference in the game was the second quarter. They just dominated Central in that whole second quarter.
But, Greg, if you look at this game on paper, the Eagles definitely were dominant with yardage and everything. In fact, why don't you share the statistics with us, please? Oh, you want the piece of paper?
Yeah, thank you, Chuck. Final stats, Abilene High had 10 first downs to 6. Abilene High had 26 rushes for 232 yards. Central had 21 rushes for 69 yards. Abilene High, the Black Shirts held Central to just 19 yards passing. Abilene High had 56 yards passing. Abilene High was 9 out of 13. Central was 7 out of 17 with 2 interceptions. Total plays, Abilene High had 39 plays for 288 yards. And Central had 38 plays, and the Black Shirts held Central, Chuck, to just 88 total yards. Abilene High had 2 fumbles. They lost 1. They had 5 penalties for 36 yards, and Central had 4 penalties for 30 yards. Time of possession was almost equal, if you can believe it. Abilene High had the ball for 17 minutes and 53 seconds. Central had it for 17 minutes and 20 seconds. Abilene High was 4 of 8 on third down for 50%. Central was 3 of 11 for 27.3%. And the rushing totals are pretty staggering. Braden Henry, 8 touches, 150 yards, and Joyner had 11 carries for 75 yards. But tonight, it was the Braden Henry show, Chuck, as Abilene High moves to 1-0. And, of course, you know, Cooper won big tonight over Hazel, so they're both 1-0 coming in. There'll be a big crowd here next week. There was a good crowd here tonight, but I'm telling you, Chuck, you throw out the records when it's Abilene High Cooper.
And when it comes to broadcast, Abilene High Cooper will have the broadcast on AISD Live with the video stream. We'll have the audio stream for Abilene High fans. So what we're going to recommend to you is click on to the Cooper broadcast, turn down the sound, and then get the audio from the Abilene High broadcast, and Greg and I will tell you the real version of it. If you'll hand me the sheet, I'll recap the scoring. Okay. Yep, Greg, you're finding out that there's a reason I'm in politics.
Learn as we go, yep.
There's a reason I'm in politics. Okay, so Central actually scored first, 8:47 into the first quarter. Micah Smith rushed for 2 yards, and the Bobcats went ahead 6-0. Extra point was good from Holbert. Then at 2:49, Johnson rushed for a loss of 6 yards to the Abilene 44. Fumble by Johnson was recovered by Abilene High's Jaden Starks, and and he ran for 56 yards into the end zone. Kick was good. It was tied at 7-all. Then at 7:07 second quarter, Holbert punted 38 yards to the San Angelo 49. Braden Henry returned the punt 49 yards for a touchdown against San Angelo. Eagles went ahead 14-7. Kick was good. And then at 2:42, still second quarter, Ethan Joyner rushed for 20 yards and a touchdown. Kick was good. Eagles led 21-7. Also in the second quarter, Braden Henry rushed for 81 yards, touchdown, and the kick was good. Eagles took a 28-7 lead into the locker room. Third quarter, Braden Henry rushed for 39 yards, touchdown. The kick was good. Eagles led 34-7, and then the Bobcats were able to add another score as the final score ended up 42-21, Abilene High with their first win of the season. Greg, any final comments?
With you in the next booth over, and I can't wait for Abilene High Cooper next week.
It's going to be fun, and of course our pregame show starts at 6:30 here on AISD Live, and we'll have a visit with Mike Fullen, the Eagle head coach, and then kickoff is at 7 o'clock. And all the excitement here at Shotwell and AISD Live will be carrying both the Cooper and the Abilene High broadcast. Once again, go to the Cooper website, turn down the sound, and click over on the Eagle icon and turn it up, because we're going to have an exciting broadcast to share with you. And I'm sure that Cooper winning big over Azle, they're going to remember the score last year, and they're going to want a little revenge on the crosstown rivals. So, Greg, thanks for joining us, and folks, thanks for joining our audience here on AISD Live. Once again, the final score, the Abilene Eagles 42 and the Bobcats of San Angelo's Central High School 21. For everybody that's been a part of this one, and thanks to our crew chief Randy Cluck and all the AISD folks and the Abilene High interns that have helped make this broadcast possible. We ask you, Lord, please bless Texas, because the legislature's in session. Good night, everybody.
You've been listening to Abilene Eagle Football